Hello. Hi. What's going on? How you doing? Welcome to another episode of Hope We Here. It's been a couple weeks. A lot have transpired in the last couple of weeks. This is going to be such a dense class tonight. I may or may not even finish it all, but there was just so much from abstract thinking to offensive defense. Just there was a lot of things that came up that really drummed up a lot of ideas for this class. I'm going to talk about just a couple of them at the beginning, and then at the end, if I have time, then we'll tap into some more. But excited to get into this class. I hope everybody had a good couple of weeks. Time to reflect, time to grow, time to improve. Real quickly, though, I want to shout out Pastor Chris. He had the grand opening of his new church facility in Antioch Sunday. And just to see this brother's growth and expansion it just warms the heart so much, man. And the way he has evolved and grown, just as a person, and I call it as a business person, it's just so inspirational. Like, he got up there, and just to see him maneuver and handle business in such a way that was confident and commanding, but at the same time humble, it really makes what we do here worth it. Because just to even have a little bit of an impact on that. So proud of this brother, man. And if you haven't had an opportunity, if you Christian, even if you're not, like, I'm not a Christian, but going to that church, man, it would do you well to see excellence in motion. Because that's what he displays, excellence and integrity and knowledge, and his mix between being relational and being tactical inside his communication. It was just, man, that brother is brilliant. And to see that his growth and progression, and the fact that he is a student of this class, makes you really tip your hat off to his humility and his growth and his willingness to grow. And it's hard to fail when you like that. So,
yeah, he responded as well.
Oh.
Yeah. So let's get right into it. This is going to be an interesting class. Some of it's going to be introspective. Like, I want you to have pen and pad, because I want you to be writing a little bit at the same time. We're going to go through the material. So, from an abstract thinking perspective, so I don't go to church much, I don't go to church much, but going and sitting there and hearing the word, right? It had my abstract thinking brain moving. And in today's society, there's a lot of nuance around people trying to figure out what's manhood, what's womanhood. What's a man, what's masculine, what's feminine. And so you got a lot of debates, especially in our community, around dating and what men should do and what women should do and what's masculine and feminine. And you have people like Kevin Samuels, right? Y'all know the Kevin Samuels of the world, right? And a lot of people who came up after him, who have a similar message. And I'm not saying I disagree with a lot of the stuff that any of them say, but I got a question. Because there's a thing going on, right, where they say, men should never date a woman with kids, right? Is that the thing that they say? Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. All right. So I got a question, because I don't got no dog in the fight. Go to the next slide. For all y'all Christians out there, was Joseph a simp? You know who Joseph is, right?
From the Bible?
Yeah. That's the definition of today's simp, right?
Pretty much.
What they call a person who gets with a woman with kids, and they call them simps.
Old school.
Was Joseph one? All y'all Christians out there, think about it. A man who's getting with a woman and she says, I'm pregnant. And you just got to trust me on this one. And then he raises the child as his own and loves the child as his own. Now, this is Bible, right? For all the Christians out there, this is Bible. But in today's society, that's opposite, correct? So who do we follow? Who do you follow? What do you trust? Like, the problem with today's society is we all got mics. We all got mics. And we all got opinions, and we all got something to say. And if something gets popular, then popular can sometimes equal truth. Versus governing deep wisdom lasts lifetimes. So, to me, real masculinity is radical responsibility. And radical responsibility means I own all this. So if I engage with somebody, I own it all. All of it's mine. So I don't believe in that shit. I don't believe in that. Don't touch nobody who got. I don't believe in that. And if in the Bible it gave a proof, an idea of a man who did it. Not saying that is not ideal for somebody. Of course not. Of course you in an ideal situation. But in today's society where we are so broken, I want to just challenge that thought for a lot of youngsters who are in that age group, especially if you're a Christian. Because in 2025, if Joseph and Jesus and Mary was alive today in 2025, they would be getting roasted on YouTube. And he would be called a simp. So that's just my abstract thought before we get started. Next slide. So we're going to do a hope check-in. And here, these are a series of questions I want you to write down in your own journal. And it would be cool if we can have a mild discussion about it afterwards. But I want to ask this question. I want you to really, really, really be honest with yourself and go deep with yourself and be clear with yourself about these answers. First question. Why do you want to be an entrepreneur if you want to be one? Why do you want to be one? It's just a check-in. Why do you want to have your own business? Why do you want to build something? Why do you want it? Why do you want it? I'll give you a couple seconds. Next question. How much of yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 do you think is needed in order to achieve your goal? So if entrepreneurship took a certain level, what level do you think you need to be at in order to achieve success in entrepreneurship? Pro sports is really good. Professional athletes are really, really, really good at this. They can tell you because they fine tune themselves and their bodies in games so well that they can tell you off bat if they're gonna win or lose a game if everybody's healthy. Or they say, who you playing against? I'm playing against the Chicago Bulls. Who you have to guard? Derrick Rose. Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, who do you have to be in order to stop Derrick Rose? I have to be an 8, or I have to be an 11 for some. You guarding Michael Jordan tonight. Who do you have to be on a scale of 1 to 10 to stop Michael Jordan? Oh shit, I gotta be a 15. You see what I'm saying? Who do you have to be on a scale of 1 to 10 in order to hit your targets as an entrepreneur? Next question. What things do you need to change in your life in order to increase the probability of success in these goals as an entrepreneur? What things do you need to change? Next question. What habits do you need to avoid in order to achieve these goals? What habits do you know you need to avoid? And here's a good one. What fears do you need to overcome in order to achieve these goals? And the last one is, what value could you add if you reached your success? What would you do? What would your success do to the world, to the community, to your people, to your family? Is it just for you? Is it for just you and your kids? What's the value that you having success adds into the world? Do you know that? It's hell of important for us to know the direction in which we're moving. That's the meta of what we do. And here's an interesting thing. How many people missed answers, couldn't answer any of the questions? Were there anybody who any of those questions they couldn't write down an answer for because they didn't know it? Anybody? Here's the interesting thing. Most of us know what we need to do. Most of us know most of what we need to do. Most of what we need to do, I won't say all, most of what we need to do, we already know it. I know I got to stop drinking so much. I know I got to stop. I know I got to stop scrolling on the internet. I know I got to do better here. I know I got to lose weight. Most of us know what we need to do for the most part. And we not doing that. That's why we got to get clear on what that is. Like, I want for you, we both want for you to hit your success, to hit your targets, to grow your business. Man, we want that for you so much. The same feeling that we were feeling Sunday, I want that for all y'all. I want that for you. What's holding you back? The stuff because there's enough stuff that you don't know that's holding you back. That's out there that we haven't even got to yet. Get the stuff that you know, get to it. Get to it. Get to it. Any questions on that before we move on? All right, let's get going. Slide. You ready, Shakina?
Yeah, 1 second, dear. All right, let's do this.
Let's do it.
Our perception of time often limits our growth. We overestimate what can be accomplished in a single day and underestimate the power of compounding over years. Real change doesn't come from cramming productivity into short spurts. It comes from consistent structure and discipline. Compounding applies not just to money, but to character. Every small act, breaking a bad habit, improving a routine, learning a skill, builds on itself.
Okay, let's stop right there. Now, most of us humans, if not all, have a warped understanding of how time works. So most of us, if not all, overestimate what can be done in a day. Have you ever wrote a list for the day and it was 12 things long or 20 things long and you swore you was going to get that done that day? It's because we're very overconfident most of the time of what we can achieve in a day. And we're also very underconfident. We underestimate what we can do over long stretches of time because a little small amount, your brain doesn't pay attention to it. Have you ever saw your bank account disappear and you like, what? I didn't spend no money. But you looked at your account and it was just small little nicks, $20, $15, $5, $20, and it was 1,000 cuts that killed your bank account because the power of small numbers killed you. Same thing, the power of small numbers can compound over time. We're not playing a short game. We're playing a long game. We're playing a compounding game. So you do not have to fix all your flaws in one day, especially in this game because it's a lot to do. You don't have to fix all your flaws in one day. You have to take small bites at some of your flaws, your organizational mishaps, your discipline, the way you manage money, the way you think, the classes you take. That's why Hope class is not a fix-all that you can go one class, 1 month, 1 year, and you fixed. I talk to people sometimes who maybe stopped going to Hope 3 years ago, but they'll still come up and talk to me trying to speak fake Hope language, and that shit's hella outdated. So I laugh like, that shit, because Hope, man, like, and they'll throw some shit that they'll quote some shit from a book we threw away, we don't even use no more. It's because everything is a progression and a compounding. So you're stuck. You stuck in 2020. And the progression of what we've learned and grown and compounded that growth of that particular material has evolved to where this is irrelevant now. We don't even use it anymore. It helped us to propel us to this level, but now we don't even use it. It's gone. You're like, yeah, well, it really helped me. And you throwing out a 2020s phrase from books. I'm like, that shit whack. Shit don't work. We stopped using that a while ago. It's small compounding acts. Has anybody ever struggled with addiction? You can't quit addiction in a day. It's trial, error, failure, success, a little more success than failure, but still failure, and then get back on the horse, and you're continuing to go back and forth until your successes become stronger than your failures. because your successes start compounding to the point to over time, you've outpaced your failures. You can still go back, but you've outpaced your failures to the point to where you don't want to look back anymore. That's the same thing with us in success. Keep going, Shakina.
Most people fail not because they lack effort, but because they lack patience and planning.
It's patience. I say, be kind to yourself. People say that. Be gentle to yourself. Be kind to yourself. I say, be patient with yourself more than any of those. You're playing a long game. You're playing a long game. My woman, like, bless her heart, like, she's so dope in certain aspects like that. When I first met her, she partied like a rock star. And so she had quit a lot of things, but she couldn't stop. She smoked weed every day, every morning, wake and bake. And I never said nothing. I didn't judge her for it. I didn't say shit. But I would notice that she would try and quit on the low sometimes. And then 2 months later, fall off. I wouldn't say nothing at the beginning and the end. I'd just be like, okay, I see you. I see you trying. And then maybe another 8 months go by. And then she'd take another hard crack at it. And this time it was 2 months, 2.5 months, 3 months. This is a 10-year movement. And it took her hella long. I mean, she still smoked, but not like recreationally every once in a while, like completely different than she was before. But this has been a 10-year in the making of her really giving it her all and trying to figure it out. And that's the reflection of business and life in all of us. It's shit that we can't judge each other for. Keep going.
The goal isn't do everything today. It's to make sure today connects to a larger plan. When we learn to think in years, not hours, we give compounding the space to reshape who we are and what we can do.
Man, most of us want to get rich now, right? Want to get rich now. If you got rich now and if you got rich today and you looked on your list knowing that you got hella shit to work on, what do you think will happen to that money? Be gone. Or your relationships, or your psychology, or your stress levels, or any of that. Because you have to build the muscles to be able to manage, maintain, grow it, defend it, protect it, share it, all of that. You got rich today. Some of y'all aren't even splurgers. I don't spend money like that. Yeah, that might be true for some. But some of you guys, it's not about you splurging money on yourself. Some of y'all won't have the courage or the tools or the language to fend off your family and friends.
Talk.
So all of the other things, you humble, you're not an overspender, you have a low overhead in life, you're not materialistic, you worked on all these things. But that one you forgot to work on. And when they come for you, oh shit, now you feel guilty because you're the only one in your family with money. How are you going to deal with being the only one in your family with money? Well, you said you wanted to get rich, didn't you? It's coming. So say it's coming. What is your strategy? What's the borrow strategy? I need a loan. I need some money. I need this. I need that. I fought that kid off you in 3rd grade. You owe me.
Bad.
I took care of you when your mama didn't have no money. Guess who helped take care of you? Guess who taught you how to ride a bike? Guess who did this? Guess who did this? I did. And you gonna tell me no? Some of y'all won't even have the heart to be able to. Fuck. What's your strategy? See what I'm saying? There's a million of things like that you have to wrap your head around, even the idea of being in this space. So that's why this is a compounding effort of lots of little things, lots of tiny things, lots of small improvements, wins. What happens when the calamity hits you? Everything's going cool and something hits your boat. And now your boat's on fire. Your name and reputation is on the line. Shit, my company has my name. I can't just turn it off and walk away and hide up under a rock and show up somewhere else. My company got my name on it. What happened when people are saying false shit about you just based on the sole fact that they jealous about what you have? You gonna run around trying to defend your name everywhere? You gonna be all in the comments defending shit on Instagram and social media? Like, all of this takes poise, growth, wisdom, trial and error, all of it. Was there more?
That's the last of that.
Next slide. Yeah, so this leads us to this next piece. Players. Not the kind of players that y'all thinking about, but players indeed. Now, in business, as an entrepreneur and as a leader, and when you start hiring, or when you're looking at the game that you're playing in business, life, marketing, opportunities, partnerships, people are broken into mostly 3 categories. And to help shortcut the game in your mind, it'll be good to put people in these 3 categories: A, B, and C players. And after we get done here, you're going to be able to really distinctly see, 1, what kind of player you are, and 2, how to spot players, different levels of players, and what to stay away from and what you need. All right, let's start with the first one. A players. These are A players.
Right. Okay. The force multiplier. Mindset. Owner mentality. Thinks in ROI, efficiency, brand legacy. Talks in outcomes, not tasks. Says we, not me.
Okay, so the mindset, meaning the governing beliefs in an A player, is an owner. I own it. I don't care if they're the last employee down the list. If they're sweeping floors or watching a parking lot, or doesn't matter what the job is, they'll always say, "Oh yeah, this is my floor. It's my kitchen. This is my area. These are my fries." Because they inherently, by nature, they have an ownership mentality. An A player looks at a space and they own it. And you'll spot, you'll after this, you'll start to spot different people and little small things that they say that gives you an inclination of the type of player they are. They could be the last employee in line and they could be just replacing the napkins in the restaurant, but these are my napkin holders and these are my napkins. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, we love them. We love them. They think in ROI, efficiency, and brand legacy. So what's the return on my investment? It's not a time thing. It's a return on investment. And they're not thinking about tasks. They're thinking about outcomes. You know the difference? Outcomes mean, what are we doing? What are we trying to accomplish here? It's not a task thing. It's what are we trying to accomplish here? And they know that this is a team effort. They're not stuck in a silo of just what they're doing. It's a team, and it's a we, and it's not me. Next one.
Behavior. Spots problems before you do. Creates solutions without permission. Fixes root causes, not symptoms. Language. Already handled this. Here's what's changed. I see a bigger opportunity. Can I take it?
So A players are solution oriented. Hey, this is what happened and this is what I did. Is that cool? This is what happened. This is what I changed. Is that cool? I see something big here. I already got a plan in my head. Can I go for it? That's an A player. Hey, I need you to, I already did it. That's an A player. Next one.
Under pressure, faster plus sharper. Pressure activates them. They simplify complexities and never cause chaos.
Come on.
Impacts on the culture.
So hold on. That remind me of that song. I don't know what song it was by Nipsey Hussle, where he said, the sound of gunshots charge me up. I forget what that song is. But what he basically saying is when the pressure's on, that's what charges me up. Oh, it's good. Like, let's go. I don't fold under pressure, cry. No, it activates you. You've been in enough of these situations, or you immerse yourself in enough of these situations that you're not a liability when shit goes down, when shit hits the fan. You're an asset. You're faster, you're sharper, you're somebody. I don't know if you ever been, us men do it. But if there's a disturbance somewhere, I'll say on a BART or on a bus or whatever, the motherfuckers who are with the shit will find each other and eye contact each other. Like, if it go down, right? I got you. Yep. We won't even know each other, but we'll spot each other in a room and be like, okay, cool. So I got you. I got you. Okay, cool. Nobody even else is speaking that language. They're scared. They're cowering. They're looking down at this. And it's like, oh, shit, it's about to go down. Who can I ride with? And they'll give you a little nod like, don't trip. It's good. I'm like, cool. Because that's A player activity. That's A player activity. And it goes over everybody else's head. Everybody else's head. Keep going.
Impacts on the culture. Elevates everyone. Standards rise just by their presence. Attracts and protects momentum.
Come on. So elevates everyone around them. You don't necessarily have to teach or say or be in everybody's face. Your presence, your behavior, what you do will elevate the people around you. It just happens because you create such a high standard for yourself that A, the spirit of competition, B, just being herd animals, people will tend to rise up with you. That's what great players do in the NBA. That's what great leaders do in business. And there's a telltale sign, because there's a thing a C player will always say to an A player in the same space, and we're going to talk about it. Next one.
Leadership action. Expand them. Give territory, not task. Promote. Listen to surround with other killers.
You hold on to A players as an entrepreneur. You hold on to A players with everything you got. Give them more. Give them more. And surround them with other A players and some B players, but give them more. Keep them the fuck away from C players. Because what will end up happening is when an A player is stuck with a C player, they're going to leave. They don't want to be around. I was telling this to Jordan the other day, or my team, and I was saying there's a kid that used to play with my son. on my son's AAU team. And this kid ended up going to the NBA. But when he was 10 years old, they're all in the car. They're all in the car with me. We're driving to the game, and he's on the end seat looking out the window. Serious, preparing for the game. And it's just 10-year-olds, you know what I'm saying? So they're laughing, joking, poking each other, laughing, joking, poking each other. And he said, man, stop playing, man. I'm trying to concentrate. 10. Wow. So they kept doing it. He punches the kid next to him. Man, why'd you do it? I told you I'm trying to focus on the game. You keep playing. I told you to stop. I didn't say nothing. I'm not even gonna stop that. We get to the game. We end up blowing the other team out by like 30. This little 10-year-old kid comes up to me and said, hey, coach, man, if we keep blowing these teams out this easy, I don't want to play on this team no more. I said, boy, you going to play on whatever team I tell you you're going to play on. Because it was a little 10-year-old telling me this. He was like, he walked away. No, I'm not. That kid ended up going to the league. 5'10", 5'11", 6 foot. Because A players are A players. A players don't tolerate C player shit. They can't. They feel like it's going to get on them.
That's true.
When I used to hoop, the hoopers would say, hey, we got a private run Saturday, 8 o'clock. Only real hoopers only. Be 100 people in the room. 4 people get that whisper. Because you want to play with other A players. The game goes faster. You ain't got to deal with bullshit. Hey, we got a private run. Don't tell nobody. That's how A players do it. Next slide. B players. So these, if you happen to have an A player in your vicinity that works for you, works with you, you better you hold on to them like gold. You hold on to them. You don't let them go. You nurture them. You help them grow. You create a path and trajectory for them that gives them continuous leverage. A players need to see a path upward. If they don't, they have to see a path upward and expanding. Next one, B players.
The tipping point. Mindset. Wants to do good work, but needs direction to think strategically. Needs clarity before moving.
So they're good. They're good, but they need direction. They need somebody to clear things up. I'm confused. Can you explain that to me again? But once you give them clear direction, they're good. Next one.
Behavior. Wants to make sure I'm doing this right. What's the priority?
So they intensify right and wrong. So sometimes in that intensification of right and wrong, they overthink themselves and they get stuck a little bit sometimes. Keep going.
Under pressure. Does well if pressure includes direction. Good inside guardrails. Falls apart if ambiguity exists.
So if an A player said, hey, they coming to me with the ball, but I'm going to pass it to you. You're going to knock that down, right? Right. We got it. You got this. You can do this. That's where a B player can shine. That's where a B player can shine. Just under pressure, but if they got some help or some guy rail, somebody to look at, then they can handle it. Next one.
Impacts on the culture. Neutral until led. Becomes A if coached well. Becomes C if ignored. They follow dominance of culture.
So that's where the weakness lies. If they're neutral, which means they could be swayed either way. When I was in school, I was the bad kid, right? So they will always move me around. And so I would end up fucking with the person next to me, and now he laughing and joking and he getting in trouble too. So the teacher's like, I know that's a good kid, Courtney, you're infecting him. So we gonna move you over here. And so it would be a game for me to like try to pry and fuck with to get that person I'm sitting next to lose it, and now we partying too. I was a fucking idiot, but the point was there will always be one kid. I'm not paying attention to you. That shit's stupid. Can you move me? Teacher, can you move me? I can't do this. I'm like, damn, my shit ain't working. Because they're not a B player. B players can be influenced. You just got to find an in. B players can be influenced. Now, if you got B players on your team, that's good if you have enough A players to influence them up. But if you got C players, then the opposite can happen. They can corrupt your B players. Next one.
Leadership action. Diagnose weekly. If trending up, invest hard. If stalling, add pressure. If sliding, cut fast.
So if trending up, invest, because they could potentially be an A player. If you notice the nuances, invest in them. I say it all the time. I see the A player in you. I'm going to keep coming at you and telling you shit that irritates you until you get it. Because I see it. Invest. Now, if they sliding, you don't want that cancer in your building.
Yep, I've been there.
Can B players turn into A players over time?
That's what we just said.
I thought you meant like.
So if you invest hard into a B player, they can turn into A players. Next slide.
C player.
C players.
The culture infection. Mindset. Clock in worker. Thinks minimum not to get fired. Blames circumstances. Avoids responsibility.
It's a headache already, and we only at the first paragraph. Thinks minimum just not to get fired. So what I was saying is, have you ever been in a room and somebody said, "Man, won't you slow down? You're making us look bad."
Right.
That's a C player in a room with an A player. Oh man, slow down! You're making us look bad, man. Nah, don't be doing all that. What, you a kiss up or something?
You're doing too much.
Yeah.
You're doing too much. When somebody tells you you're doing too much, inkling that that's a C player. If somebody tells you, "Oh, slow down, you're making us look bad," C player. If somebody says, "Well, I don't have enough tools, or I don't have enough technology, or this is broken, or this is," giving you reasons why they can't do their job, C player. Blames the circumstance, C player. Blames anything, C player. You fucking with a C player. If they say, "Well, that's not my job," C player. I'm confused, C player. Fuck you confused for? Start asking questions and find the answer. See, start asking questions and find the answer. Next. Keep going.
These slides are cold-blooded. Behavior. Always asks, what's next? Never moves unless told. Will never solve future problems, only react.
So you literally just, what's the pawn on a chessboard? You literally just a pawn on a chessboard. You can only move one little move at a time. One little move at a time. And then you look around like, what's next? Well, nobody told me what to do. I didn't know what to do. C player. Next.
Under pressure. Choke.
Chokes. 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 Why do you think they choke? Why do you think C players choke all the time?
They don't have ownership.
Ownership could be one.
And they're blamers.
Blamers.
Always gotta be the victim.
the thing is, they don't own what they do
Yeah.
because they've only been doing one little step at a time. You forget context when you just doing one. You're a task-oriented thinker, so you're doing one step at a time. You don't have the context, big picture. So of course you're gonna choke. In a high-pressure situation, your IQ drops, so then you revert to what?
Your basics.
Your automatic. What you practice. The automatic. And if you ain't have been practicing and you only have blinders on of what you can see in one step at a time, then of course you're gonna choke.
Well, I think about it too, like if their tendencies are like to always ask, like, what am I doing? What's next? They don't even develop the cognitive abilities to have ownership because it's never going to be their fault because they've always been told what to do. So in order for them to be able to take ownership, they would have to be a free thinker and start processing, like, what is the 5 steps down the road as opposed to I'm just doing task A, B, and C. So I think there's like a different level of the ability to have to think in a different way.
Well, yes, but it's more experience. If you've experienced 5 steps down the road, then you are at step 1. You intuitively and intellectually know those other 4 steps and what they look like. So you're not as frozen as a person who's, I've been down this road before, which makes it less likely for you to be it makes it less likely for you to fail.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, okay, a couple of things. A player kind of gave some indications because A player owns the outcome, right? But what often can distract you from the outcome is one, a lot of times we get caught in short-term tasks because we attach our value to task. So you're good. I'm knocking these things down, and you're moving. Because you don't own the outcome, you're like a wild car driving down the road, hitting all kind of stuff, even though you're moving aggressively. So in order for a C player, by being task focused, it's not a lack of effort or commitment. It's a lack of owning the outcomes in the long term, which then gives you some ways to maximize efficiency as you drive that car.
Well said. Now here's a downside. Keep going.
Do you want me to continue to go under pressure?
Yeah.
Okay. Gets defensive, blames others, delays or creates more mess than progress.
I'm working so hard. I'm doing my best. That's what a lot of C players say because that's their out. Because they think hard work is the neutralizer for failure. Hard work is not the neutralizer for failure. Getting it done is. Getting it resolved is. Finishing a task is. But a lot of C players think, I've extended my energy, so that should be good enough for you. And an A player say, well, did you get it done? No, but I worked hard. Give a fuck about how hard you work. Keep going.
Impacts on culture. Pulls everyone down.
This is the big one. Not only are they shit, but their energy is infectious. And so it starts pulling people down. So let's go back to when I was a class clown. The classes where the teacher would not kick me out, if she left me in that class to do my shit, then it will be chaos by the end of class. Because the person on this side now laughing, this side's now laughing, they laughing, now 4 people laughing, now half the class is laughing, now the majority of class is laughing and acting a fool, and now she has no control of the class. You gotta get me out of there. You got same thing in this situation. C players pull others down. If I'm working super hard, me and you are making the same amount per hour. But I have a certain work ethic about me, so I'm working super hard and I'm a B player. And you're doing bare minimum just to not get fired. Then at the end of 2 weeks, our check's the same. And I know the bullshit you did. Now, if I'm strong-minded enough, maybe how long do you think that that's going to last to where I start saying, man, fuck it. I'm just going to do a little bit less too. And a little bit less too. A little bit less too. A little bit less too. Nobody's watching. A little bit less too. So that's why you pull everyone down. You won't pull an A player down, but you definitely could pull B players down with you. So keep going. That's what it tells you what happened.
Leadership action.
Or no, just did you finish the impacts on culture?
Oh, sorry. B players begin to lower their level. A players get frustrated or leave.
Damn. You fucked. Like, this is how serious this shit is. Now your productivity is now waning because that one C player is cancerous to the group and you ain't doing nothing about it. You ain't doing nothing about it. I had somebody come in my office. I said, hey, we got a problem. The amount of designs you design in a week is here, and your counterparts is here. We got a problem. Oh, shit, I'm doing the best I can. I don't know what else to tell you. I said, you know what you're telling me? You don't want to be here. That's what you're telling me. Here's the standard. Here's you. If you can't meet the standard, you can't be here. It's that simple. I'm going to check back in with you, and if the standard ain't met, we got a problem. That's it. Like, because this is a zero tolerance thing. And it's not fun to do. But the reason why is you do not want that cancer to affect the culture of your company, because now that's a reflection on you to say, oh, so you think that's cool then? You good with that? So keep going.
If
Leadership action.
leadership action, zero tolerance. If attitude problem, cut immediately. If only a skills issue, 21-day rescue sprint max.
So that's their version of saying, is it possible for a C player to become a B player? Yes. Yes, it is possible. With correction. And if they absorb the correction and they really put forth effort, they can become a B player. Absolutely. Absolutely. Next slide.
The strategy of culture and the culture of strategy.
So before we move on, any questions about this? I know we went fast. This is important, and this is like we did a lot in a small amount of time.
Do you think a C can turn into an A?
Absolutely, I think a C can turn into some C's have turned into A's here.
Is one of them Jonathan Kaminga?
No.
Let me add something real quick that's also important. Just kind of taking what you taught, and those of us who are making decisions with A, B's, and C's. Now, C players, your brain is already thinking about terminating them. That just is what it is.
Yep.
But I would suggest to you, a good company is a good company that can run their company with B, C plus, and B to C plus employees. Even though you may have A employees, if you need A employees to run your company, you have a weakness. And the reason you have a weakness is because if one person quits, your company stalls. If one person quits, you can't compete, right? Like in basketball, if LeBron James left a lot of those teams, they just would have been like, 12, 15, 17, 18. Eventually, you want to be able to have a system that can handle churn. So if people are turning over and people are leaving, your system can run with the same stability. And so eventually, A players, to his point, you want to hold on to. But some companies, sometimes what happens when you first start hiring, you think hiring all A's are going to get you over the line. and you'll find hiring all A's will actually get you a C performance, because it's there's a certain things where they start to cancel each other out. So if an area of your company is running weak because you got B players, here's something that's going to be kind of hard to stomach. Going back, if you're the A player started your company, that falls back on you because you have a poor system. Improve your systems, and B's can look like A's to the outside world.
Absolutely true. And to his point, there's company like how many hood dudes in the Bay that you know work at Tesla,
Hell.
right? So Elon Musk, and it was a slide for this, and I deleted it. Elon Musk have built systems. He put systems in place that can allow someone who may or may not be a C player to still function, but it's on purpose. It's on purpose. So what you have to understand how this game works. We won't. Most of us starting out won't even have the finances to hire all A players anyway.
That part.
If not one.
If not even one. So
Better try to get
the smart thing to do, and what we have done, that's partly why this class is here, is we put systems in place that creates an upgrade embedded in the system of the culture of the company. So we create. Early on, I've done this heavy with Courtsmith. I say in the last 2 years, we're not as strong as we used to be, but we had to read a book a month. Before I met Nana, everybody got to read this is the book we reading, and we talking about it. And I know who didn't read it as we talking about it, because I don't expect to get all A players. I know it's impossible, but I know that if I hired with potential, then, and if we're progressive enough and we follow a path of progression and we lead the way with that path of progression, you can see people move up, go from C to B or B to A, depending on who they are. But your systems in place have to be simple enough to insert and plug and play. Any other questions? Anything? Everybody?
I have a question. Do you only apply this concept to the work structure, or are you identifying player prototypes throughout your life?
I think once you learn this system, you'll see it everywhere. You'll see it everywhere.
Yeah.
I was thinking about like how this applies to family members.
You'll see. Yep. You'll see it everywhere. Even though if you're looking for a potential partner or a mate, you're not looking for perfection. You ain't looking for you ain't looking for an A player. You ain't an A player yet. You're looking for progressiveness. How progressive is this person? What are they doing in terms of growth and learning and getting better? Like, how well do they say, oh shit, that was my fault. What can I learn from it? That's all I need. If I have a human next to me that says, oh, I fucked up, what can I learn from this? Oh, I could do that better. You could be an F player and I'll rock with you because I'll put you in a system of progression and we'll grow together. I'll take that over a stubborn B player any day. I had a stubborn B player in my company, and it's just funny how watching us all pass him up, and he was a B player. And he's like, I don't read all them books. I don't like reading all them books. You know, I got one book that I follow, and that's it. And that's the Bible. I say, yo. But he was a B player. So over time, we growing. And you could just see the evolution and the separation over time. And everybody saw it, and it made everybody even more excited to keep learning and reading. Cool? All right. I don't know why I put so much meat in there. I feel like Nana because I got so much to say. Let's keep going.
Keep it going. The strategy of culture and the culture of strategy. Strategy is the plan for what you want to do. Culture is the behavior of how your people naturally do things. When your strategy fights your culture, culture always wins. You can't enforce strategy. That's your team's character. That your team's character doesn't support.
Okay, this is a deep one.
Very on point.
So
This is so important.
if you're ever building teams and you don't build culture that supports the strategy that you're trying to implement, you might as well just kiss it goodbye. You have to build the culture. You have to build the culture surrounding strategy. Does that make sense? Because culture will always win. I can say, hey, everybody, nobody steals, okay? Nobody steals. If you get caught stealing, this is what I'm gonna do. You're gonna get in trouble, and how are we gonna plan around nobody stealing? But if the culture is stealing, stuff is gonna be missing. That's how the game goes. Your culture is stronger than strategy. If a particular culture has a particular behavior, a group has a particular behavior, they're going to find a way to do it. So in business, if you want your team or your group or even customers to behave in a certain manner and execute in a certain way, stop screaming at them around the strategy, the behaviors. Start focusing on what is our culture. And what makes culture a lot of times so difficult is the person who leads the culture has to be an example of the culture. And a lot of us don't want to do that. I'd rather do as I say, not as I do. But everybody's looking at you. So that's the responsibility you take as an entrepreneur, as a leader, is that you don't get the luxury of catting off in hiding under the covers, or if you have a strategy, you want everybody to be on time, you don't get the luxury to walk in late. You have to practice what you preach, because you are the linchpin of the culture, at least at the very beginning, until someone else becomes a spokesman of the culture that you put in place. Next slide.
Example. If your culture isn't disciplined, don't depend on a strategy that requires precision. If your culture isn't innovative, don't depend on a strategy that needs creativity. If your culture isn't competitive, don't depend on a strategy that requires aggression.
Okay. It's that simple. So if your culture isn't competitive, then when shit hits the fan, you need to get it. You can't expect people to all of a sudden become transformers. You haven't embedded that into the culture.
That's right.
So strategy says, I want to think ahead of this and make sure that I'm embedding the culture of competition, so that when it's time and the lights come on, my team, they won't get deer in the headlights. That has to be embedded in the culture. I know it's basketball analogy night, but sorry. If anybody has ever been on a team where the coach just had them running all the time, you hate it. Practice, run, suicides, run. And you hate practice because it's always running. It's always running. But over time, you'll realize that you, as a team, you become fast-paced and long-winded. And you get in the game, you don't realize that you've drifted over into being fast-paced and long-winded. So in the fourth quarter, you notice, damn, I'm not tired. And the other team's tired. So then you're like, thanks, coach. But you're not doing it at the beginning. Same thing can happen the opposite way, too. Bless you, damn. Same thing can happen. That same type of drift can happen too. is that, say an example of you know that one car that always whips past everybody in the fast lane, 580, whip past, right? When I'm in my 20s, I was that guy, right? Whip past everybody. I didn't tailgate anybody because I'm just whipping around. And my brain could not fathom, like I would probably be a liability if I drove slower during those times, because I'm more nervous. I would be more nervous back then driving slow and doing the speed limit because I was so used to going 85 all the time. The funny part is, just recently, maybe last year or so, I'm like, why is everybody, these drivers is crazy? Like I was the crazy driver. Now these drivers is nuts. They tailgating me, honking at me in the fast lane. Now I have to get over to let them through. I never did that as a driver. I was the crazy one. But you know what happened? I realized, I looked down, I just recently, because it was like, this keeps happening. I looked down at my speedometer. I'm going 68 miles an hour. My brain has drifted the opposite direction. I'm slower now. I'm older and I'm slower. And I didn't realize that I'm the slow motherfucker in the way.
It's okay. Me too.
And I'm like, when did this happen? When did this happen? But it's drift, slow, small, incremental drift. And so sometimes our brains, we think we haven't changed. We think this is the culture. We think it's the culture, but our results tell you different.
Yeah.
What's the lesson?
Lesson. Build the culture that makes your strategy inevitable.
That's real chess. That's why you understand what yelling and screaming at the fruit does nothing. The root is strategy. Go baseline to the root, and that's strategy. Strategy says, what kind of culture do I want to build? What kind of culture do I want to build? And you have to be uncomfortable and be willing to embed that culture, the practice of that culture in the system, so that when the lights is on and game on, so to speak, you or your people won't fold. But you got to put yourself in. Culture is uncomfortable. You know why? Because culture gets policed. It has to be policed. And if you're the head of the ship or you're the leader, you got to be the one policing it. You got to have uncomfortable conversations. You got to tell somebody, don't do that shit again. You got to hire, you got to fire, you got to reprimand. You got to say, hey, let me holler at you. That ain't cool. Don't do that no more. Who did what? Like, in order to maintain culture, you have to curate it, and curating it involves having uncomfortable conversations and having to cut and slice and fire and move out the way and say, hey, C player, you're infecting our culture. Mm-hmm. You got to go. Or if you can't shape up, you got to go. And that's what some of us run from. We run from that smoke because we aren't confrontational. But that you got to get in there. Last thing I want to talk about is the difference between being an A player and being a people pleaser.
Uh-oh. Don't do it.
Do it.
Don't do it.
Does anybody have any guesses on what the difference is?
I have a guess.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like because I've played both roles before, I think there's like the difference between like serving and people pleasing, which is people pleasing is like proving you're good enough. You think you're outcome focused, but it's more from like an approval space, versus serving people is understanding what you need the end goal to be and staying in alignment with how to show up to that without putting your value on the line through the process. So I don't know if that's like close.
I'll boil it for you. People pleasing is externally focused. A players is internally focused. A players, I'm not an A player for you. I'm an A player for me. I'm an A player for my mission. I'm an A player for my purpose. So sometimes it may seem like very similar in terms of the what gets done. But the difference, one is toxic on you, and the other one is fulfilling on you. That's why we talked about this a long time ago. Always practice excellence. I don't care what you're doing. Practice being excellent, because what you're doing is you're practicing being an A player. You're practicing being an A player. Meaning I take no days off from being an A player. So if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it right. I'm going to do it the best of my ability. So people pleaser is externally focused. They care too much about what other people think about them. See, what a people pleaser can turn into a C player. Why? How? You know how? If they get enough pressure from C players around them, they can crack and turn into a C player. Because a people pleaser will please anybody. So if there's enough pressure from a C player, meaning, I don't know if y'all know, C players can roast your ass good. They're good at roasting you, making you feel some type of way. So if you buckle up under that pressure, then a people pleaser can bend and break easily. A players can't. They standing on business of their excellence and who they are. They standing on their principles and integrity. Period. I don't care who's around. I don't care. Like, if I say I don't do X, I don't do it. I don't give a shit who's around or try to influence me. I don't do it. If I say I'm gonna give my best in this situation, it's done. It's because my purpose. So your purpose has to be strong in order for you to stay consistent with being an A player. Your mission has to be strong. And it can be various things. Your mission could be various things, but as long as it gets you up that day and makes you show up. And now, mind you, we're not perfect human beings. We're not going to always be perfect. Some days you don't feel like it. But at the same time, being a people pleaser is not a substitute for being an A player. You got to get that out your system and turn yourself from outward to inward to internally.
So I think last year or maybe the year before, you guys had introduced us like at a glance to a book, possibly from a podcast, The Culture Code. And I bought it because I was trying to figure out how to figure out my company's culture. And I find there's like a split in what I want my company to be versus what the culture of the company is. And there's this conflict of I'll hold myself to a really high standard, but because I have people pleasing as a baseline, I will have a really hard time with like holding people accountable to the standard that I want to have for the company. So then I'll overwork myself to like bridge the gap, but then I have an internal conflict with the leader with like holding people accountable. So I know there's like a huge gap in like experience and expectations. And then I just find myself, and I know it's like a broken system, but I don't know how to rewrite the culture. Because I feel like I'm like, okay, well, I'm doing the things that I want the company to do. And it's also my job as the owner to get my team to do those things. But then I don't know how to do that. And so then I just find myself working really hard. And then it's just like a hamster wheel effect. And so when I was reading the slides and I was just thinking like, okay, for Pinpoint, we've never been like a high pressure sales environment. And we always have like all this internal and external language about like joining a family and like being supportive and like having a culture where it's more lifestyle based and like just caring about like the day to day. But then like I also on the same side will notice like retention issues with like all of the outside trainers. And then I'm just like, okay, but I'm telling people we're not a high pressure salesperson. And I'm telling people that we're, like not focused on like just being a number, but in the same breath, like we're a business. So we have to have like sustainability and growth and retention, et cetera. How do you, like as a business owner, when you realize you have a culture problem, that's not in alignment with where you want it to go. Like, I'm sure the answer isn't like fire everybody and start over. So, and like hearing this and being like, okay, you have these different levels of players and they can move levels depending upon like, leadership, influence, environment. I'm just really curious from like an application space. Like I try to actually take stuff from this class and put it into practice. I'll just be very curious about if you're having a culture gap, like what are the things that you would do as a business owner to try to attempt to start working on it?
Great question. First thing that I would do, and I've done, and I'm even doing, is I start with me. Mm-hmm. That's the first thing, because your business, your retention, your culture is a reflection of what you have curated. Mm-hmm. So if there's gaps, holes, problems, issues, the first thing I look at is me. What am I doing or not doing? What can I do to improve? I try to look at myself in the mirror as much as I can, because it's like your children. If like my daughter texted me this morning about her two I was so hot. And I text her back like, don't talk like that. That's not right. Just don't talk like that. You need to be like, you got to hope for the best for them. And I'm going into all this positive shit. But she texts me. I said, how was your day, baby? And she says, her two classmates, Lincoln and Mason, they was fighting again today. One of them probably going to pop the other one. I'm like, don't talk like that. But guess where she probably heard it from? Right? So it's always, I got to look at me. Mm-hmm. Where do I need to grow? Where do I need to improve? Are these what's exhibiting in the business? Is it blind spots or weaknesses in me? Now, how can I offset those weaknesses or blind spots? Either with another person, putting somebody that's their strength, or improving. Because you won't be able to fix fucked up culture when you're at the head of the fucked up culture. And that part of what's fucked up is inside of you. First thing I do. So it's about, damn, like I may have a blind spot where I can see it, or there's something I'm not doing. If I have high turnover rate, then there's some level of trust or something about my personality that they ain't fucking with it. So what is it? What's going on? Why'd you leave? Where are you going? Like, if there's a pattern, that's where I start first. The second place as I go, because you're in a scaling mode, is you got one of the best mentors sitting right next to you. I call this man like I'm on How to Be a Millionaire, like phone a friend. He stay on speed dial. Mm-hmm. And his perspectives are so brilliant, mm-hmm. and it helps either give me better ideas or it's the idea.
And I think like the conflict is more so like I have high retention rates and the rest of my staff doesn't. And so I'm thinking like, am I not doing enough trainings? Am I needing to like get people in on sales? Like, do I need to do psychology classes? Because I'll have clients for years, 10 years, 13 years. And then my trainers will have clients for like 6 months and then they'll be gone. And then I'm like, what's the gap that I'm missing?
Yeah, you're missing a gap. And another thing is, how long have you had employees?
8 years.
Huh?
8 years.
8 years. So if you had employees for 8 years, it's always an introspection first.
Yeah. Okay.
And what we do is not natural. It's not natural. So you have to rely on outside to help you see, because your brain is not naturally wired to run a business with multiple adult humans. You have to learn that game. And some people may have a knack for it. That's cool. But if you see that there's holes like that, then you have to really start digging deep and investigating as to why, and ideating with other people, because I think that's probably your strongest suit, is the ideation with other people. Them saying, I see something potentially that you can't see. You know, or there's a part of your personality that you're concealing or that you are defending is what's creating that. And that's hard to take. That's hard to swallow. It's a pill sometimes hard to swallow. All right, y'all.
Just found out that when we play that song, even though it's supposed to be free, YouTube doesn't let people outside of the United States see the videos.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I had to go and kill the song with software. So I didn't tell you, it's on me. You know, I'm gonna share a couple of things. First of all, the family stuff is access to culture. If you want to know how good you are with culture, it's a parallel to family. So, reason I keep pressing, there's a deeper lessons I'm teaching with family. Family is laying the foundation that we can relate to, but I'm giving you guys a lot of deeper lessons, but kind of giving you a preview on the conclusion is that a lot of stuff we've been teaching around family is really teaching you how to build culture, and culture is really the team that's going to activate your strategy. And so if there's distortion on how family works, there's going to be a distortion on how culture works. So that's the two are highly tied together. And that's number one. Today, you know, it's been bothering me the whole day, the whole week, the whole month, actually. And I just said, you know what, if I still feel like this when I get here, I start this part off before I get started. Before I say that, make sure if you're at home or you're watching Hope, that you continue to participate in donations. We're going to do this till the money runs out. But we need your support to continue to drive this class, especially next year when this class is going to be focused on participation and activities and a lot more engagement. So our online presence is going to change. Once again, I'm going to announce that one more time. We're not going to have the same free classes anymore online. We're going to only have classes streamed to people who are paying, because they're going to be part of the exercise. It's not for the public just to watch for entertainment, but it'll be for the public to actually participate in the growth process. And I don't want anybody to think, I'm not talking to anybody in this class when I say what I'm about to say. But this is something that I realize that even for those of us who are out there trying to do this for other people, do you guys realize the people who need the most help is the hardest to help? Did you ever realize that? Like, the people who need the most help are the hardest to help. I mean, just think about that. Think about everybody you ever helped. And sometimes it's because, you know, people build systems of survival. It might be a flawed system. It may be a system that yields them low returns on their investments, but they survive by it, right? I don't care what they're doing, they're surviving by these systems. And when you come in and say, let me offer you a better solution, their beliefs are being attacked. That's all they know. Now, let me even add another layer to it. Most of the time when you're in a fucked up space or a bad space, you build friends that support your bad space.
That ain't the truth.
All your friends that you have in that bad space are lying with your bad space. And there's another deep part of you that doesn't want to leave them behind because you changed. So quite often your loyalty to the herd stops you from embracing somebody who's delivering you a message. And one of the ways you know that you are resisting a learning opportunity, couple things. One is, do you require a certain rap delivery of a new message for it to resonate with you? Can somebody just speak to you straightforward, no matter where their background? A white male curses at you. Can you receive the message, or does he have to be a black person speaking to you with a soft voice and a pause and constantly giving you compliments and praises in between? Another thing too, and this goes to our education, especially inner city kids. A lot of us was raised in education when you didn't get a good grade, you were shamed. So now you're adult, and when you're dumb or you don't know something, what do? You shame yourself, right? So especially if the person in front of you tells you you're wrong. That's not smart. You will change. The words will come to your ears, which is, I'm being attacked. How dare this person? This person doesn't know me. I'm offended. This person's insulting me. What they probably mean, and even when you repeat it to like your friend, what he said to me was, he told me I wasn't shit. He told me he didn't value me as a person. No, he just said he was wrong. But your brain took off on hearing this wrong, and it sparked and drummed up a lot of internal trauma. So guess what stops you from being somebody else? Internal shame. That comes from poor education and poor relationship to knowledge. Remember last week I said, when your business is under constant depreciation, and as soon as you can identify that appreciation, it's an opportunity to reinvest, right? So now you should be excited by looking for depreciation, because now you know where your investments need to go to grow your business, right? So shouldn't the same be for your ignorance? You should be excited about discovering the ignorance, because on the end, you know what you need to learn to continue to grow. But we're so busy defending our intelligence, we're blocking our own growth. And then when somebody shows up in a room that has the ability to offer you intelligence, you go into a competitive or warlike relationship with them because of your internal shaming. Is that shit crazy? Here's another side idea I thought about. I'm gonna attack our cultural beliefs today. And I'm tired of playing safe. I'm tired of it. If you just can't handle it, fuck it. This is not the class for you. I'm not speaking to everybody. I think by speaking to everybody, I ain't speaking to nobody. And a lot of popular culture right now, especially amongst black people, and I hate the word people of color. I don't know what that means. But among black people, my people, let me first say this before I go into this comment. I've been pro-black for 36 years. 36 years. I'm not a Johnny come lately. A lot of books you read on African history, I met the people who wrote those books and sat with them and had dinner. So I've been around a long damn time. I became conscious when Hugh P. Newton was still alive. Wasn't doing nothing, but he was alive. I was conscious when what's his name? Muhammad, Farrakhan's sidekick. Huh? No, not Elijah Muhammad. Yeah, dark skinned brother. Huh? Khalid Muhammad. That's it. I didn't want to call him wrong. Khalid Muhammad. In fact, I sat with Khalid Muhammad before he died, a month or two before he died. I've been in a room with Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Ben, Dr. Jeffries. I've had a chance. My father served with the Black Panthers. I can't tell you how because it ain't a good story. But
Somebody come get him.
I was raised on Martin Luther King's speeches. I was a super duper fan of Malcolm X. Fell in love with Elijah Muhammad on the path. My favorite leader of all time is Marcus Garvey. Hands down. Still to this day, he's still my number one leader. But let me get into a conversation because I was in the movement for so long, I watched us go around the same block and never achieve any progress in our destination. This is again, being pro-black, we walked around the same block and never created any progress in our destination. And as I started to grow and become an entrepreneur, and one of the reasons I became an entrepreneur is because I used to be one of those brothers at the flea market that would like run up on you real quick and tell you why you're not black enough. I was one of those brothers who would sit around in ciphers with other conscious cats and discuss what's wrong with the black community and what are the possibilities, but mainly the conversation was what was wrong with black community and what's wrong with white supremacy. I was able to identify systemic racism in ways you can't begin to imagine what I can see. But in that process, none of us was getting any better. And this is something that I know some of you conscious folks, you're going to have to stomach this at some point. So, you know, you might even get mad at me right now because I remember I used to get mad at anybody that wasn't saying what I was saying. So I get it. You're not getting mad at me right now because I'm not going to say what you're going to say. I'm still progressively black because that's what drives me to do things that Nana would never do on his own. Mm-hmm. There's hella books I would never read. There's a lot of things I would never sacrifice for. Do y'all think I'd be teaching this class if I was not pro-black? Not at all. Nana growing up loving women and anything that's tied to women. If I also had my free time, I'd be close to women. I'm gonna be 100% honest. But my pro-black is even more important than women. It's more important than anything. But I promise you, if you knew the real version of me and y'all told me the girls was over here, I would look at you like, well, why are we still standing here? Like, that's how I was, right? And that's still in my blood. I might be getting older, but for some reason I can't get out of my blood. I've been trying. I might need to call a priest and see if they can do some shit. But anyway, so I can't remove this from my blood. However, with that being said, let me tell you something that is a framing problem, but also a huge distortion. And by the end of this class, hopefully I get a chance, if I have enough time, to show you the distortion between here and next class. A huge distortion. So one thing I notice about a lot of black people who talk about white supremacy is they're white worshiping. You're worshiping white people. Let's just call it what it is. You don't see yourself as equal. They won't let me. They rigged the game. The system is racist. They historically they did these things to us. Stop worshiping white people. Now, the reason I'm able to say that is because I got a chance to learn more about other people's history. And the more you read about everybody's history, you realize ain't no super people. There's no such thing. Did white people commit criminal behavior towards us historically? Yes. But is it a result of their supremacy or is it a lack of our knowledge? See, when I see what happened to us on Black Wall Street, or when I see what happened to us on between here and Africa, when I see what happened to us with all the redlining and the economic shifts and the underinvestments and the poor schools and the poor nutrition and the poor job opportunities, you know what I see? I see that we just didn't have a strong enough strategy at the time. That's it. I don't get mad at my ancestors. I don't say they could have did better. Because it was what it was at the time. But it wasn't because white people were superior to us. It was they retarded our growth because of slavery, and we were low in strategy. I would argue in 2025, we still are operating low in strategy. I'm going to show you some things tonight that may piss you off, may make you feel comfortable, but I promise you I can make a hell of an argument that we are actually operating from a weak space of strategy more than white people are operating from a space of white supremacy. I think you need to start seeing white people as just human beings. Just human beings. They're not. The more you look at human history, you realize, God damn. Like, you don't realize, like, when Hitler was acting a fool, so was the Japanese, so were the Russians, so were the Turks, so were certain groups in Africa. But if you don't know your history, you don't even have this very narrow reading of history, you won't see what was actually happening during the Hitler era. Did you know that Hitler got his idea of race purity from American books on eugenics? Oh, the world's really weird, huh? There's so much in this world that what you realize that when you're looking at the world through a lens of fairness and good versus bad, that's you projecting on the world. The world doesn't really work like that. Sometimes the bad win, sometimes the good win. Really, the person who looks good is the person who just gets to write the book. If Hitler had won the war, the book he would have wrote would have made other countries look so much worse, and he would look so superior. So those who win the war get to write the story. This is hard reality because I'm going to go somewhere with this. I'm going to get you somewhere where you're going to realize that a lot of the ideas that you have around strategy, game theory, is tainted by our cultural perception of our history. That's simple. That's simple. Get to that first slide. Let's get into it. So let's read these. I want you guys to look at these comments. All right, you can read them all straight through.
Okay.
And then, guys, digest this. Tell me if any of these missed you. And I want everybody to participate in the room. Go ahead through this. Go through this. And online, somebody looking at online, somebody, because Shakina's, I got it. Oh, she got it. Okay. So watch online. I want you guys also to read this list online. And I want you guys to let me know your thoughts behind this. And I'm going to ask a question, but just read these first. And then the first question is, did any of these resonate with you? Or you kind of like, I kind of knew that, but this is kind of reinforcing, or all of these I know. Go ahead.
1, master inner growth before outer growth. Your business will never outgrow you. Tony Robbins.
So, by the way, that's what Court just talked about in this whole class. His whole last lesson was, with that conversation he had between you and him, is that your business won't outgrow you. Mm-hmm. So if you're growing slow, so will your business. Keep going.
2, clarify purpose and serve authentically. People don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it. Simon Sinek.
Mm-hmm.
3, build systems, not just hustle. Mm-hmm. If you don't design your own life plan, chances are you fall into someone else's plan.
Ooh, that's a cold one, by the way. If you don't design, if you don't design your own life plan, chances are you fall into someone else's plan. Keep going.
4, obsess over value creation and feedback loops. The market decides your value, not your intentions. Gary, I ain't even gonna try.
Yeah, so the market decides your value, not your intentions. By the way, that one, most people don't get that. Most people, I rarely meet somebody walking down the street that gets that. Go ahead.
5, expand through relationships and contributions. The secret to living is giving. Oprah Winfrey.
Mm-hmm.
6, manage energy, not just time. Many modern leaders like Robin Sharma or Brendan Burchard argue that managing energy through recovery, focus, and purpose is more valuable than managing hours. You don't need more time. You need more clarity and vitality.
Okay. Is there anything up there that you say, oh, that's a refresher, or I didn't know that one? Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Okay, good. Okay, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5. She was just clean. She's wiping her nose. No, it wasn't me. If you sent this list to anybody, would be any value? Is there anybody you can think of that you sent it to right now and it'd be valuable to them?
Depends.
Huh?
Depends. I think it depends.
But before you get into depends,
Yeah.
just want to ask the question first. Is there anybody you can send this list to you think it would be valuable to them? Just somebody give me a number. Just go through the room. Just say 0 to 5 or 0 to 5. Just keep it simple. 0 to 5. Scott, 1 person. Josh, nobody.
Maybe
Okay, give me a number.
2.
2. You don't count. Okay. No, Josiah, I'm not jumping my cord. That's why I say, what's up behind you? Like, what's up? Oh, okay, my bad. 0? Okay. How many people? 5 or more than 5? 2? Okay. 2? 3, 2? 4. Okay, who said zeros? Why you guys say zeros?
Fern just said she's sending it to herself.
Huh?
Fern just said she's sending it to herself.
Oh, you pass the microphone.
Fern
right?
just said she's sending it to herself.
Oh, she said she's to herself. Okay. Anybody? Okay. Why did you say 0? Let's go to the list and give Josh a microphone. I think get through saying what you guys.
Okay. I chose 0 because the people I would think to send it to it would kind of be on that that lower level of like this. It's like motivation, but it won't get anywhere past that. They're like, oh, this like it sounds good. Like the secret to living is giving, or like your business will never outgrow you. Like those, like even if I try to explain what those mean more in depth, they'll just be like, oh, okay, this sounds cool, and then they'll continue. Like it won't really
That's
mean.
from Josh.
Well, I only know two people. No. I don't really like. I've removed myself from a lot of the relationships I used to have. I only see Chisati and Demondre, and then you guys. So I don't have a lot of people I would send this to.
Okay. Everybody else, you failed. You sent everybody a recipe. You know why? Go to the next slide. Or go to the next slide like that. We go back to that slide. Theory without context means nothing. This is what you've been sold. This is me. You guys go places and read these little statements, right? Go back 2 slides. Master inner growth before outer growth, right? How do you do that? You send somebody and they don't know what the fuck is that? Yeah. Even if you read that line after, it doesn't go any further than you. Okay, so what do I need to work on? Right? Clarify purpose and serve authentically. Okay. People don't buy what you do, but they buy why you do it. So I got to come up with a reason, purpose, why? Well, how do I do that? Meaning that people are buying these recipes all the time. People go to classes. People listen. People. This is important because theory without context. Where does strategy come from? Theory. So if you're borrowing strategies from everybody and don't have context of the strategy, you're not borrowing anything. I'm going to get into like how do we navigate this in a second. But this is an example of, I sent it to 2 people. Do they have context of any of this? All 6 of these. Like you said it to me, I can translate it. But if a person's not operating in all 6 of these categories, you're hoping that the curiosity will make them grab the book you just read, digest it, and contextually understand what the hell you're talking about. There are a lot of self-help movements run these at you perfectly like this. Oprah Winfrey said, give. Do you understand how complex giving is? What if you're a taker by default? Or are you somebody who don't know what giving how to really truly give? And you contextually don't give correctly, so you are burning out the end results. One second. Manage energy, not just time. What the hell is that? You gonna go with this like, if you sent this out, you just sent out recipes to people hoping that you would give them contextual value. Go ahead.
Okay, when I said 2, I'm thinking about like my business owner friends. Like I have a friend that owns 9 stores. Like she's been scaling her butt off. So I'm like, okay, this would be a list where I could send her and we could start having some real grounded conversations because she's got over 100 employees, multiple locations. Like we send each other business books. You
know what you just did? You're assuming yourself to death. You're assuming, like if you just stop this conversation alone, just because I have those things, you don't know how I got them, do you?
No, but No.
But the reason this is important because it's going to come back to you. It's not about them. It's not about your friends. I'm teaching you a lesson that's about the way you think, and that thinking is going to impact you when you're in pressure and you have to borrow strategy. Because that's all we're doing is borrowing strategies. Like none of us was born with like there's no like we plug a cord, a USB into our shoulder side. Go, okay, I got everything now. I know what to do. You're literally watching around you in real time, and you're pulling information in from everything around you. And the problem is that we've been victimized by recipes for so long that when we embrace strategy. So, for example, let's say you come to me and say, Nana, how should I handle this problem? Do you realize that in my brain I'm thinking, Court did a perfect example of that earlier. You gave him, here's these scenarios, and Court hit you with the best response possible because he realized, well, he could have hit you with some recipes really easy. He could have literally just went back to his class, doubled down on some things, made it sound sweet. People would do this in class, applaud him and everything. And he gave you nothing. You hire consultants right now. They will sit here and run through this shit sounding so good and gave you nothing. This is important because nothing sounds so good. It feels so right. It feels, and matter of fact, we will then double down and write the nothing down and act on it and plan around it to only get no results. I'm going to get into how to fix this. All right, let's go to the next slide. Read the slide. Okay, go ahead. Josh, Josh, go ahead.
So when you said the market decides your value, not your intentions, that's kind of what I thought you were getting at with this too. And correct me if I'm wrong, because I want you to know something is irrelevant. It's only what you do with the thing that I give you. Is that what they're getting at?
Almost, but let me tune that a little bit. But you're going the right direction. I want to give you contextually what I own, but you don't own it. I can't assume you own it unless you show me. For example, okay, let's say I had a long conversation about all 6 of these with you last night. And then I send it to you as a reminder of conversation we had, let's say 3 weeks out. Be like, yo, and you say, I'm having this problem. Say, remember, and I send these to you. That'll work because we already have contextual translation. What happens a lot of times with people that we're trying to help is we're projecting, we're not seeing. It's a big difference. This is important. Because if you don't get this shit right, I promise you, this is even when you try and train your employees. I told them this and they did that. I don't understand. Because you don't understand contextual translation. And when I say contextual translation, a lot of times before you talk to your employee, your conversation should precede multiple free dialogue they had with you. I mean, as you just talk to me every day, you're showing me how to talk to you. If I run the same script to everybody in this room, some of you may get it, some of you may not. But as you talk to me, you tell me how you frame the world, how you see things, what's your angle, what's your sensitivity, what's your motivation. So then I know how to package it to get to you. But the same thing happens when you borrow strategy in reverse. When you're trying to implement strategies in business, a lot of times you're implementing strategies, but you don't know how to filter your strategies. So it sounds really good, and you identify some similarities, but contextually you're way off. And this is going to get into this. So let's go to the next slide. Let's slow it down a little bit. Okay. Go ahead.
First of all, I think this is super dope, and I appreciate it.
I
Clarifying question. So do you think that only has value to you because you created it then? Like, could you give it to anybody and they could find value in it, or it's only valuable to you, right?
It would only have value because I own those so deeply contextually.
Got it.
I can show you when they apply, when they don't. There's times when those don't apply.
Okay, cool.
Right? I can tell you when to use it, what's the timing on delivery, all those type of if you don't know contextually. For example, I remember sitting with somebody who was trying to talk to me about business, or they're talking to me about business, and they were like, "Yo, well, do you have a player in this role here?" And I was like, "Do you understand the stages of evolution? And based upon the rules of evolution, I don't have access to that at that stage. When I hit this number here, now I have to pull that lever. Now, if I get to this number here and I ain't pull that lever, now we have a conversation." So even giving people advice in business, what stage are you at in business? For this advice to even be relevant. But let's jump into it because I want to show you guys how to identify relevant strategy that aligns with your needs as opposed to just strategy. I hired this consultant, strategy. I got a coach, strategy. And that shit is so irrelevant. You're a victim of copy and paste and cool little phrases that sound really good that if you repeat them in public or in front of other entrepreneurs, they'd be like, that's brilliant. It just doesn't apply to you though. That's important. Go ahead. Let's go for this.
Most of us look forward to leveraging our favorable experiences by applying the same approach to the next situation.
So you guys get that. So you had a great experience, so you want to apply that same approach again to the next experience and over and over and over and over again, right? Keep going.
We also have a thirst for success formulas.
Success formulas. This is what you guys go to these self-help gurus for, or a lot of these coaches are just giving you success formulas. Go ahead, keep going.
Key steps to enrich ourselves. Sometimes our experiences in nostrums work, but more often they fail us. Mm-hmm. The reason usually boils down to the simple reality that the theories guiding our decisions are based on attributes, not circumstances. Mm-hmm. Attribute-based theories come very naturally to us and often appear compelling. As we saw with the birth order discussion, However, once you realize the answer to most questions is it depends, you are ready to embark on the quest to figure out what it depends on.
Court did that to you. That's it. He couldn't answer hella questions because he can't see a lot of contextual things that are invisible to him. Mm-hmm. If he had answered that question with precision and with confidence, he's projecting from his ego. And you got to know how to see that. You got to know, if you can't see those kind of answers being delivered to you, you got to know that the person who's on the other side of that phone, they're not talking to you, they're talking to themselves, and they're victimizing you. And you dumb enough to take that shit and treat it as real. That's why this, as we go through this, when somebody asks you a question about stuff in business and life, there's so many variables that can have impact. It just depends. And because we both can say it depends, that allows you to refine your insights. The key word, hear what I just said, the word is, it's insights. All right, let's go to the next slide. So remember we talked context over content. This is still a basic class we taught a long time ago. I'm just going to take it way fucking further because I'm going to show you how we laid the foundation for basics. Tonight, I'm teaching 2 basic principles that we taught long time ago, but I'm going to give you more substance. Why we give you more substance? One of the reasons we would double down on something a lot when we taught this class, what you guys don't realize that there's different levels of how you learn. There's a simple level, like task learning is really easy for everybody in this room. I can teach everybody in the room a new task and you'll learn it without a problem. You know the hardest thing to learn for you is to change your culture. To change your culture is very, 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 very difficult. You know how you change your culture? You got to go through repetitive process. So some of the people say, oh, wait. First of all, the people who complain the most wasn't even performing. If you, I'm being straight, fuck it, I don't give a shit today. If you're not performing at a certain level, I don't need to hear your conversation. That's like a low end basketball going to the NBA going, hey, coach, why you not put me in? And by the way, I don't like these towels. Dude, you're on the bench. Dude, you're not even on the bench. You're in G League. We let you sit behind the players to at least talk to them. So anyway, so context over theory. So another thing, theory without context is useless. Let me say this again. Theory without context is useless. People who run around sharing theory all the time without context alignment is wasted talk. There's 2 popular ways that people like to sound intelligent. To talk negligent, this is a natural heuristics. Speaking negative makes you sound intelligent.
Really?
Y'all ain't been in the hood? Speaking negative makes you sound intelligent. Absolutely. You know what's wrong with the society out here? You know what's wrong with this? You know what's wrong with my cousin over here? Diallo can talk negative. It sounds intelligent.
You just sound like a victim.
But guess what they can't do? They can't talk solutions very well. If you went home right now and studied the direction booklet on how to work on 5 of the devices in your house, would that improve your life? Would it? Like if you read all the direction booklets, you studied, stayed up all night long, to the point that if I walked in your house, you can give me all directions on how to use your stove, your computer, lawnmower, your stereo system, and your cell phone. Would your finances go up anytime soon? That's what negative people sound like to me. Mm-hmm. It's noisy knowledge. But it can sound so good. You know, there are people that another thing that people do to make themselves sound very, very intelligent, they throw out theories all the time. You know, I heard this one theory. You know, there's another theory I actually heard. There's this word that expresses this theory. You know who does that the most? Academics who are scared that you could find out that they're not as intelligent as they say they are. Academics play this intelligent game that if you're not an academic, you'll never know. That they try to hide their ignorance because they're very knowledgeable here. So what they do is they throw out a lot of theories to block you from seeing how ignorant they really are. So theories without context is trash. Stop throwing that shit around like you're doing something. Stop walking into people's lives like, you don't have a theory of what's going on with your life. Stop the trash. Stop it. Stop the cat. Now, if you've been doing a lot of listening and you're developing some pattern recognition and you see the abstractions and then you want to then throw out something to lob a conversation, that's different. But the point that when you walk around and get mad because people don't accept your theory and you don't sit down to have a context, my mother-in-law came by the house and try to share her theory on parenting with my daughter. And I say, do me a favor, stop your drive-by advice. Don't need it. You don't even stand around long enough to develop an analysis. She gave me theory without context. I say, if you had been around and show up all the time, like if Mama Linda, which is her other grandmother, showed up and gave me her insight, I'm going to stop and listen. I'm like, hey, Mama Linda said this. Let's listen to that, because she's put her time in, so she has some context. But when the other grandmother who barely shows up, stopped by for one weekend and said, this is what you need to do with your daughter. Hey, don't need no drive-by device. Keep that shit going. Roll your windows up and keep rolling. Don't want to hear your shit. Let's get to the next slide.
Hey, yo, this look like a young version of Kaja.
Huh?
She look like a young version of Kaja.
Oh, wow. You ain't never lied, huh? God damn, that's close to Kaja.
She look like.
Oh, my God. Hey, y'all know how Kaja was. She was young. Girl, she was in.
That
Look,
was Kaja in her
okay, go ahead.
20s.
Okay.
Ask whether the theory behind your decision making accounts for
So
circumstances.
this is how we're going to figure out, how do you filter good theory, which is strategy being delivered to you, and valuable theory, right? So let's get into this first. Let's go through it.
People frequently attempt to extrapolate successful choices from prior experiences to new situations with predictably poor results. Flawed results that draws common attributes from organizations that have done well and offers those attributes as a general prescription for winning is also popular. Neither mistake properly considers decisions in context.
So that's where the context. So explain to you that a lot of times we're drawing these ideas and strategies from other people. This is what Steve Jobs did. This is what this other firm did. This is what the clothing company. Hey, Adidas did this. This is why Core Smith does this. You can't do that. Even remember when Actively Black came out and started talking about Ralph Lauren? You can't do that, dude. You set yourself to compare yourself to Nike. Ralph Lauren market is not Nike. So when people look at your shirt, they're thinking about a Nike shirt in comparison to yours, not a Ralph Lauren shirt in comparison to yours. Ralph Lauren has multiple layers to their company and have a whole different business strategy. Now, if you looked at Ralph Lauren sports lineup and you say, wow, Ralph Lauren sports lineup, I forgot what they call it, is this price and versus my price, but also what's not contextual is, Ralph Lauren's been around since I was a baby, bro. Yeah. Like literally, that's how old Ralph Lauren is. So it has brand loyalty, brand stability. It's tied into deep cultural tradition that you took another cultural tradition, which is perfectly fine and is a very successful field. But you can't just borrow strategy from somebody else who looks similar. Next slide.
Watch for the correlation in casualty trap.
Go ahead.
People have an innate desire to link cause and effect and are not beyond making up a cause for the effects they see. Mm-hmm. This creates the risk of observing a correlation, often the result of chance, and assuming causations. When you hear of a correlation, be sure to consider the three conditions: time precedence, relationship, and that no additional factor is causing the other two to correlate.
Anybody understand that one? Do you understand that one? Go ahead.
Is this related to what I was texting you about earlier with the moral fabric of society and what damages that?
Yeah, for you, that's yes.
Okay.
Let me get into this real quick. Does anybody know what a correlation versus causation means? Go ahead. Just go ahead, Scott. Now, before he says anything, raise your hand if you know what correlation versus causation means. Raise your hand. Okay. Anybody really own that? This is important. I promise you, if you don't own this is all strategy. This is all strategy thinking. I'm not teaching you some shit I want to make you superior at the party or cute with your words. If you don't understand the difference between correlation and causation, you're pimpable. I'm not even bullshitting you. You're pimpable as hell. I can pimp you with movements, belief systems, your money. I can get you in so many different ways. It's a cold game. I ain't talking about pimp like the streets. But in a sense, it's the same thing too. Correlation versus causation, you're the pimpable subjects of society. Go ahead, Scott.
First of all, I feel like I'm having a Shabisha moment. I fucking love this class right now. Shout out to Spisha.
I miss you, Misha.
Okay,
But Shakina's wonderful. She's wonderful.
Yeah.
To be very clear, we're not mixing.
Yeah, no, Shakina's.
you
You're
can't do a
amazing.
comparison.
You're amazing.
Yeah. I'm saying she's fabulous. She's absolutely fabulous. Go ahead.
Nobody can replace
So-
Shabisha.
All right, I'm going to do the best I can with this because I don't fully own this completely as well. Correlation is things that are occurring at the same time that someone could assume creates something to happen. Causation is something that you can trace directly to a fact or information that is provable that is the reason why that thing is occurring. Correlation is more around a timing, something that's happening simultaneously. It might be a pattern, but it doesn't mean that it is the cause.
Let me add to it even to that. Everything's right. Good direction. It also correlations feel like causations.
Yes. If you don't know how to read them.
You don't read them. So, for example, there was a. Now, if you answer this question, I'm going to put you on the spot. So I'm going to answer this question. There was an article that came out that said too much TV watching causes obesity in children. Causation or correlation? If you answer this question, I'm going to ask you why. Why is it one versus the other? Go ahead.
I think it's a correlation
Why?
because there's many factors that can contribute to obesity. And so to try to isolate it down into one specific thing, not considering like environment, resources, stress levels, how they perceive health, et cetera. There's just too many variables to try to narrow it down to one.
Absolutely correct. Matter of fact, the reason a kid would be watching a lot of TV, it could be tied to poverty. So causation would be more or less poverty, not the television. So what I mean by this is that did the kid watch a lot of TV and become fat? Yes. But why was the kid watching TV? There was something else that caused the kid to watch TV, which also caused the kid to become fat. So the correlation to your eyes seemed like it was a real reason why it was happening, but it was a combination of the causation was something further back. And also, too, a lot of times with causation, you can't pin it down. So if you say this causes that, this is important to know the difference. A correlation can feel like there's a direct causation behind this action happened before, and then this preceded it. Remember, in order for a causation to work, something has to happen before, and then it precedes, right? But in addition, the second thing it has to say is that could there be anything else that caused that thing that preceded? Or is it anything that caused the thing that happened before and the thing preceded as well? And so, and what relationship does a correlation have to the thing that happened to what actually occurred? So if this happened over here, you say, well, because the building blew up, my bank account went low, right? That is not a thing. A building blowing up and your bank account being low. So, for example, you ever seen this in stocks? Every time the Patriots win, stocks go up. That's a correlation. You can't draw a direct line of causation, right? So, creating a causation. When people say the reason your business is failing, I'm about to just throw out a whole bunch of correlations. I don't know your causation. Causation could be something that, let's go back to your example of, when I'm working with employees, because I'm a people pleaser, I often will just interrupt the process and jump in early. There's so many possibilities there. Like I would literally have to sit with you for 1 or 2 weeks and do the observations, go, hey, have you tried this, tweak that? And even in my observations, it can come down to when you're under pressure, you talk different. And you're not aware of it because you don't hear yourself how you talk when you're under pressure. And it's almost like if somebody's mean to you when things get rough, but then they're really nice every other moment, but the people that you impacted don't forget the moment you were when it was rough. So if I'm over here talking about, well, won't you paint the wall this way, and won't you change your brand, and won't you write up this on the computer, and won't you speak this way, and won't you adopt this other recipe, you're not solving the problem because these are correlations. So making sure that you can separate a correlation from causation. Also, here's another rule of causation. Most things that are in a complex system usually have more than one causation. It's multiple causations that cause things to happen. So a lot of times when somebody the reason black people are not achieving, there's no answer to that. It's multiple reasons. Multiple reasons, because we live in a very complex dimension. Meaning that there's multiple layers to our reality. The more layers to reality, the harder it is to say a single causation. So this is important because this is barbershop talk at its best, and then we run our business with barbershop talk and when we're trying to solve problems. Well, you know what the problem is? What? How do you know what the problem is? Go ahead.
There's a question online.
Go ahead.
Fern said, could you break down the definition of what a theory is?
What is what?
What a theory is?
So a theory is an abstract idea of here's a problem, and then this is what the problem doesn't exist in front of you. I'm going to imagine a problem. I'm going to imagine a solution. Theory. That's it. Theory is this perceived, because you're not looking at the problem. This is what sometimes we think when we hear the theory, we think we look. Our imagination is so powerful as human beings. We think when somebody tells you a problem, you can see the solution. Okay, do you realize when you watch most when you watch most YouTube videos and somebody's complaining about what somebody did to them, I can't listen to those videos. I don't have any context. They're trying to spark a theory. So my brain's gonna be like, yeah, and the reason the white guy probably spoke that way or the police officer threw that person to the ground, and then everything that comes after that is my theory of me projecting. It doesn't exist. You guys get where I'm going with this? Theory is an abstract process of how we solve problems. It's the recipes of life, but recipes without context have no value. So a lot of times we are quick to adopt these recipes on what the problem is, and what we're lacking is to understand is that without context, it's just like reading instruction booklets in your house thinking you're smart. You got nothing. You got nothing, Sway. Nothing. By the way, Sway's my friend, so if he's watching ever, I'm just joking. Anyway, next slide. These are all, so mind you, go back to the last slide real quick. So last slide is, before, when somebody says, I want to give you a solution to your business, right? Let me read this one, to explain this one to you, because this is a little bit more complex than you guys understand. If a basketball team says, hey, the Warriors win games by shooting threes, we should shoot threes. Y'all see the problem? We don't have the same circumstances. They have Steph freaking Curry. Steph Curry says that we can get away with this high percentage of threes, as well as our culture, our team, the type of players we chose. So when you're a business, even though you may have the same kind of business, you can adopt their ways of solving problems without having all the same circumstances and attributes. You guys get that part? Like, you can't just go like, this other .com company, this other clothing company, this other flower company, this other sport company, this other gym. I hate when people talk to me like this. I'm like, I don't know the circumstances of the gym, and does it align with your circumstances? Now, yeah, if you got the Dallas Mavericks in their 3-point days or the Phoenix Suns in their 3-point days, and they want to copy some of the Warriors, that a lot more is transferable because they have very similar players. But you got to think about, well, why won't it work for us the same way it worked for them? Well, maybe because you didn't have this, you didn't have Draymond Green. Or, well, you may not have Klay Thompson. Or, well, you didn't have Kevin Durant at the time. Or you didn't have Boogie in the middle playing center. All these variables are impacting the outcome of strategy borrowing, theory borrowing. You guys get that? So circumstances first, next slide. I'm just going to, second one is, go back to correlation. Second one is understand correlations and causations are not the same thing. So because somebody says the reason it worked for them is because this is observation knowledge. When you're observing, all you're doing is engaging in correlation dialogue. If I'm watching Shakina business, like, reason Shakina business is not working, I ain't talked to her, I ain't sat there did any insights. The reason Shakina business was successful and where she went wrong, that's all correlations. There's no causations there. So as a person who's listening for strategy, realize you're having an emotional conversation with somebody, but don't use that in your business. You guys, I'm trying to teach you how to tune your ears. Now, next slide. This is going to get a little sticky.
Sticky, icky, icky.
Boy,
Balance simple rules with changing conditions.
Now this is where I'm going to tap into black culture. Go ahead.
Evolution provides a powerful argument for circumstance-based thinking. In evolution, the ability of an individual to survive and reproduce does not simply reflect specific attributes like size, color, or strength. Rather, the inherited characteristics that lead to survival and reproduction are inherently circumstantial. One approach to decision-making, especially for rapidly changing environments, balances a handful of simple but definite rules with the prevailing conditions.
So this is so great. This is where I'm going to challenge what we call how we did dialogue about racism. Are you guys aware that if you adopt a strategy from a different time and different era with different circumstances surrounding that era, it's not applicable to you? You looking at 1960s civil rights, it's not applicable anymore to us. There's a little bit there, but not a lot. So why are you still marching? You don't even know why you're going. Did anybody go on that No Kings March or Million Men's March? Why are you marching? Why are you marching? What are you marching for? You don't understand, like, even when you read Black Wall Street, they ain't got to do with you. The circumstances allow that to happen. Those circumstances don't exist anymore. So when you borrow business strategies, what circumstances did that strategy work under, within? What other outside variables impacted its outcome? Black culture is constantly reflecting on something that happened historically and say, we can't do that again. Yes, you can, because circumstances change. Or, let's do that again. No, you can't, because circumstances change. Y'all get that? All right, let me double down. Next slide.
Remember, there is no best practice
This is my favorite one.
in domains with multiple dimensions.
First of all, read that one more time because I want folks to hear that, because hear these words, because I'm going to get into dimensions. Go ahead.
Remember, there is no best practice in domains with multiple dimensions.
Go ahead.
While many people, especially Westerners, are keen to determine which organization is best, crowning a winner in a high dimensionality realm makes no sense.
I'm about to throw my money at ChatGPT. I don't know. So let me help you with this one. This throws a direct blow at your relationship to white supremacy. This throws a direct blow to your relationship to being an underdog. This throws a direct blow of you being told because you black what you can't do. When there's multiple dimensions, superpowers no longer have an advantage. Let me help you explain this. If two fighters are fighting, say Floyd Mayweather and some new guy, just Floyd Mayweather at his peak, and somebody that's fighting in his era. Floyd Mayweather is such a great fighter, there's a 70 to 80% chance he's going to win, no matter what. Because he's just one person. It's a single dimension battle. One fighter against another fighter. Simple. But if you stack a baseball team with talented players, on any given night, they can be beat. Because the more dimensions you add, the more a superpower is no longer a superpower. It's about strategy. So even if you believe white people have supremacy, it means nothing because of the levels of dimensions that exist. The more we were never trained this, black people. We've been taught, look at their weapons, look at this, look at that, look at the big businesses, look at Steve Jobs, look at Warren Buffett. Oh my God, white people are so powerful. The white man, the white and social justice came along. Yes, and it's so unfair. They're so big. And strategy game theory says there's more dimensions. At any given time, you can be a winner in this game. At any given time, you can take leadership in this game. At any given time, you can become the most powerful person of a particular industry at any given time, because the more dimensions there are, the more spaces of fragility, and it's hard to sustain that position of power. Also, lead right now doesn't mean winner. Grab the microphone real quick.
Sorry, she need a mic. Oh.
Hello?
Yeah.
What's the difference between a dimension and a variable?
So variable could be variable is Variables like think about variable forms of fruit, right? So you got orange, apples, bananas, watermelon. I'm black. Let's go with that. Watermelon. Okay. Dimensions is there's more layers. Okay, so for example, how can I explain it? Dimensions is more layers of complexity as opposed to different variations. Is more layers of complexity that separate one from the other. So for example, fast food versus organic food, right? Just saying one versus the other, good or bad. Well, there's dimensions to it. It's layers to it. It's complexity. It's systems. It's all this integration of all this stuff that's combined. So, for example, a single dimension is just one target problem. Dimensions becomes but this system relies upon this system, which relies upon this system. It's almost like a manufacturing system. All these things can rely upon each other, and it creates dimensions to it. Right? Variables could be similar things are very similar, but they're like, for example, basketball teams have multiple dimensions, but basketball teams as the idea of a team without thinking about the team itself is just a variable. So like I say, okay, the Warriors, the Dallas Mavericks, those are just variables. But if you actually want to study those teams, they have multiple dimensions that make them work. And just assume that they're variation of that they're different teams and they have different clothing and different clothes and different players. That's an understatement of, well, why is it that this team can bring Kyrie Irving over here and it works really, really well? But take Kyrie over to these other group of professionals and it works really, really bad. Because it might be everything from attitudes to dieting to timing to practice techniques to coaching strategies to the clothes they wear to the rules to the policies to the outside relationships to the media coming in after the game. Those are all dimensions that are going to impact the outcome. So even though for example, you've seen this historically where there's been teams that brought together a whole bunch of superstars and almost placed last. Things like ego got in the way. Well, I want to play. Well, why can't they run the plow ball towards me? I don't know how to pass to you no more. I don't even want. There's been teams. There was a basketball team, Detroit Pistons, back in the days that won a championship. There was no superstars on the team, but they worked so well together. Right. So even though you had teams with better players, the way they worked together. Now the players became superstars because the media anointed them as superstars, but before they won, nobody was checking for them. Because even the Warriors, if you watch the Warriors before they first won, Steph Curry and them was birthed, but it was really they had a smart dimensional system that what allowed a lot of the Warriors to be teams that had bigger, better, stronger players was they had a strong structure. Why is that important? A strong structure doesn't claim superiority. If you're an underdog, the only reason that structure is whooping your ass is because you just lack a strategy on how to deal with strong structures. Strong structures are not absolute. You ever hear people say, why would I start this business? It's already dominated. Yeah, it's dominated for you. You're already out the game. Right. You got to know that superiority doesn't mean absolute. It's just the moment. Now I get to write about it in history through storytelling, like, yeah, they've been superior for a long time. They're not. There's no such thing. So white supremacy is no such thing. There's no such thing.
Well, and in addition, that's such small thinking because it's like all or nothing. For you to be a successful business, you need less than 1% of the market, and every company goes through loss.
But the thing is that even when you're really, really large, do you understand how difficult it is to sustain? And every day there's a new generation born that doesn't give a shit about what their grandparents and mama and their daddy, their cousins, their uncle, or their big brother purchased. Yeah. Right? Each year there's a new generation that doesn't even care about the Constitution the way the previous generation cared about the Constitution. There's nothing. White supremacy only works if you believe it, which is called white worshiping. Go ahead.
It goes back to the depreciation talk. So even if something is a world power, huge, it's depreciating.
It's depreciating.
So if you ain't paying attention to depreciation, then ultimately you can leave yourself open to be taken over, like Babylon or big governments.
ChatGPT is a cold game. Did y'all trip on this ChatGPT? Google has some technology that they weren't using. ChatGPT took their technology. Literally nobody, took somebody who already been working on something and said, let me get that real quick. We'll work on it for a little while. Got it to run really, really well to the point that Google's like, wait, what y'all do? No, we can't tell y'all, dog. This is how cool it is. They stole the technology, then built their own browser. They just built a browser called Atlas. That's going after the people who stole they stole their technology from. So you blessed me and put me in business. I'm about to build software to put you out of business, but we cool. Y'all missing a game. Like
There's a whole other crazy piece to that. Meta stole the main dude from Windsurf, which is the company you're talking about, and then
Yeah.
ChatGPT took the whole company, Windsurf, integrated it, made the browser. But Meta paid the head dude of Windsurf like $1 billion to go to Meta. It's crazy.
it's when you guys start realizing like the world you live in, it only works if you accept it. I'm not saying that I 100% see systemic racism. Systemic racism, it shows up in our schools first. Like if you go to a school where, by the way, rich people really network, y'all. I hung out at a party with some really rich black people. Like I got money, but they made my money for like, I was like the pennies. And their help game and their giving game is cold. And their trading of information is cold. They're literally showing up in the conversation like, what can I give to you as opposed to what can I get from you, right? But one thing I noticed is that my daughter goes to a private school. By the way, if y'all don't have kids and you get a chance to have kids and you decide you want to put them in a private school, do it. Trust me. If you're trying to build something, do it. Because the networking is crazy, right? Through the networking we've been doing this. So what's so cool about this is that in that process, I'm watching amazing education experiences for my daughter. I'm watching her being taught leadership. Like for example, when she hit the second grade, she now has a mentor, a kindergartner, and she has to coach her going forward. And she has to be the example for that kindergartner, and they take that stuff serious. She's also been, because she's a leading in reading, she's required now to go and read to other classes to help develop their reading, right? She's now trying to learn double-digit math in the second grade, even though her class is in single-digit math, is because she's trying to hurry up and get there so she can help teach the class, because the school encourages like taking leadership, right? When I watch my daughter and all of her class, people from her school go to the science fair, all the people in her school placed. All the public school kids didn't place. And it's not because the public school kids are damaged. They never had received great education. And great education is not English and math. Great education is even how the school is ran and what you're asked to do when you come to class. Matter of fact, I would almost argue that they're taught more science and leadership rules and historical context stuff and even strategical thinking and problem management and math and English and all those basics. Right? When you go to public school, they're doubling down on these basics, but they're undertraining our kids to perform on a higher level. So then they get in a plane, they fly to India and China and go get employees there, but create no pipeline for the kids right here. So that's systemic. I'm not blind to that. But what another man does and what you do is two different things. If I hit you, don't mean I win the fight. Matter of fact, how many times I watched this one fighter? I watched this fight about 2 months ago. It was a heavyweight fight. This was white dude. He looked like a regular white, like a Josh body, like not impressive. And and he came to the fight. I'm thinking, okay, this white dude about to get knocked out, because the black dude was just like, like it looked like somebody drew him with circles, just muscles. Just like, I'm like, how's he a boxer that buff, right? So he get out there. This white dude knocked him out in the third round. Knocked him out, and he was just, the white dude was so beautiful. Like he fought like fighting was a dance. Like I've never seen anybody look that perfect in their movements and timing and like use the dude's strength against him. And guess what made the black dude lose? His chin. As buff as he was, his chin couldn't take that hit.
Can't work out
Bop!
the chin.
Boom, 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 boom. Here comes Samson, right? And so my argument is that this is where our distortion is coming in. We are worshiping white people so much we can't see the opportunities that exist in this society. Let me say this again. We are worshiping white people so much we can't see the opportunities that exist in society. Then we have this false perception that the past is a present, even though the circumstances have changed. And we move as if we're in 1962 or 63 when we're in 2025 going on 26. Y'all see how cold that is? So when you're building your business, those are your deep down mental constraints. White supremacy is not your limitation. White supremacy is your psychological distortion. You gotta stop calling white privilege. Stop worshiping them. They got privilege because, okay, if you took over right now, if we were African Americans was to move and find our own land, and we started building, right? And we're building it, and we finally we became very, very rich, and we're very, very impactful, and we're trading with the rest of the world. And let's say another race moves in. I don't care what the race is. They move in. Who would you just give all the money to everybody, or would you take care of your own first? I'll wait for it. Dun, 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 dun. You take care of your own first, right? Okay, let me help you out with that. Your child is performing their ass off, and there's a whole bunch of kids on the block. Your child is now 16. It's time for him to get a car. Do you buy him a nice car? And let's say you're a billionaire, and you can buy every kid on the car, everybody on the block a car. Let's say you're a millionaire, and you have a budget. Do you get all the kids the same kind of car, or do you give your son the best car? And matter of fact, if I have a little left over, I give them something. Or do you give everybody the same car? Dun, 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 dun. So that's called white supremacy in the making. White people take care of white people first. But the cool thing about white supremacy is they make it where there's opportunities here because they can't stop it. It's not such thing. That's a story you have to believe that somebody can stop you. If you sold shit to just black people alone, you'd be well off. So what's the supremacy stopping you there? Give you some time to think about this stuff. Even when you look at it contextually, when Black Wall Street happened, when Martin Luther King when stuff was going down, look at the size of those cities. Look at the size of the movement. Malcolm X movement, what was it? At its largest was 1,500 people? 1,500. I didn't say 15,000. That's not even big in 350 million people. I mean that we have not, America's grown so much in population that those systems can't even work the same. So even if somebody don't want you to succeed, they don't have enough attention span to give a shit. Like once you guys pay attention to the way this game is working around you, it's buying into the idea, well, why is that a problem? Because when you're running your business, you're holding on to those strategies and you're making micro decisions the same way. So when you're making micro decisions, you're not looking at context. You're not looking at circumstances. You're not looking at correlation versus causation. Or somebody locked themselves out? Okay. So it puts me shaking because it's really low in the window. But he's like, anyway, let's stop because she gonna hit me. Okay. All right, let's go next slide. All right. People. Time.
Go ahead.
Attention. Money. Revise. I want to revise this. Going back to what Court says, time to revise this. Need a little update because there's been some research. It should be energy, time, attention, money. What does time, attention, money mean, y'all? I taught this a lot. Everybody know the basics. What's time, attention, money? Anybody want to take a shot at this? Huh? Mm-hmm. Anybody else?
I see it as like how you should structure your life. Time is the most important, so it's based off of priority.
Keep going.
What you spend most of your time on and most of your attention on is a result of the money you make.
It's close, but not close enough. Anybody else want to add to that? Because we won't do the basics no more, and I figured time, attention, money was one of the most Is that the most big? I think that started when I started teaching that when I first met you. Time, attention, money. That's a long time.
Yeah,
ago.
this goes back at least like 5 years.
5 years, yeah.
Time is your most finite resource. You can never get your time back. Once it is gone, it is gone. Attention is similar. You can retain your attention, you can recapture your attention, but once your attention is gone, it's kind of gone as well. Money is what gives you freedom.
And you're slightly off on 2 of them.
Okay, I'll take that.
Yeah. It's one of those ones. Anybody else want to jump on it? It's this code. I taught time, attention, money. It's very basic, but I'm going to show you how robust this really is, because I feel like those who heard me teach it still don't understand the value of what I was teaching. All right, next slide.
Time,
Go ahead.
Time, attention, money, healthy order. This order reflects true leverage and wealth psychology. Time is the only non-renewable resource. Once spent, it's gone forever. Attention is the focus mechanism that determines how effectively time is used.
You hear that? Attention is a focus method that interprets how well you use time. Let's go.
Money is a byproduct of where your time and attention are invested.
Oh, okay, let's go.
When people hold this order, they tend to make decisions that build long-term assets, skills, relationships, and opportunities that multiply over time.
So let me say this real quick. I was sitting with a young lady sitting on a block in East Oakland. Dude drove by in a newer Mercedes-Benz that was raggedy. New, but beat up from driving crazy. And the sister said, that's the kind of brother, everything he touches, he destroys. You know those kind of people? Come on, let's be honest. We know those people. I know those kind of people. I grew up around those people. Anytime they get their hands on something new or whatever it is, it's just give it a couple of weeks. And you're like, damn, dog, you don't take care of nothing, right? So what she says, every time he touches something, it destroys it. So can't the opposite be true? Every time he touches something, he enhances it. So time, attention, money. Time is a non-renewable resources. Once spent, it's gone forever. Attention is the focus mechanism that determines how effective time is used. This is important. Watch how this shit opens up a whole different uses of time, attention, money that's understated. Next slide.
Money, time, attention.
And this is out of order, distorted order.
And many struggling communities, especially poor Black communities shaped by historical deprivation, the order gets flipped. Money first, because survival requires immediate access to it.
So that makes sense. This is why a lot of Black people put money first, because this is how they survive. Next one.
Time second, because when resources are scarce, time feels cheap and money feels expensive.
Whoa, look at that real quick. Okay. I want you to say this is a major psychological hurdle to overcome. When money is low, time felt cheap because money was expensive. So some of y'all making money and still look at time as cheap. Time ain't cheap. Like literally, like for example, I discovered that if you order over $100 worth of stuff, Amazon will only charge you $7 to bring this shit to your house, and that's a little small tip. I said, who revolutionized this great thing here? This is amazing. Do you know how much time you just saved me from just going on Amazon going, yeah, just resend this shit to me again. Here's that $7. But some of us will go to the store and be like, well, I just like going shopping myself. Because that's your scarcity legacy hanging in there, saying time is cheap because money was always expensive. Next one, keep going.
Attention lasts because chronic stress fragments focus.
So a lot of times we don't have attention because of stress. Go ahead.
Attention is scattered across survival concerns, not growth.
So attention is scattered across survival concerns, not growth. So meaning that you're all over the place with your attention. You can't even lock it in because you're kind of always thinking like, I know today went well, but what about tomorrow? Keep going.
This reversal makes perfect sense in context.
Is there a microphone up? Can you turn the microphone? Is there a microphone up or something? Okay, go ahead. There you go.
This reversal makes perfect sense in context. It's an adaptive response to instability, but over time, it becomes maladaptive. People trade time and focus their compounding assets for short-term money, a decaying asset.
So, you see how you get stuck in, when you don't get this right, you're stuck in a cycle. And if you don't fix this cycle at any point, it'll put you back in a poverty cycle. Every time you misuse time and attention, you will put yourself in cycles that will sabotage your relationship to your growth. Meaning that you don't get your money right and your time and attention fucked up, and then wonder why your money keeps getting fucked up. Or you keep making poor loan. In order to master long-term decisions, you got to get your attention down. But if you don't have no access to attention, all this long-term planning and long-term decision, long-term ownership does not exist, right? And if you're not using your time correctly, you're putting yourself in a situation where you're kind of undermining everything you want to be. Next slide. We won't get into this a little more. Can you just dive into this? Because I want you guys to really understand this. Keep going. Let's go.
When money comes first.
So this is when money comes first. Let's go.
Money, time, attention. The quick flip mindset. Example, someone always chasing side hustles, new drop shipping ideas, or get rich quick schemes. They never master a craft or build long-term systems.
So this is really simple. I remember when Shakina first started a business, she's like, well, why can't I do these other things? No. If you split your time and your attention, you're fucked. Now, it doesn't feel like that when you're in poverty, because remember, money is expensive, time is cheap, attention is cheap. So you're used to abusing that all day long. And that's why but if you want to scale, you're going to have to rein those two in so you can drive that growth. But it's so easy. Like, even the people who keep talking to you about, the other day I was at the gym and this guy was talking to me about business, and he's like, yo, what are you doing? I told him what I did. He said, are you interested in making more money? I said, stop. Whatever you're going to say, wasting your time. Not at all. I'm comfortably wealthy, and whatever you're going to say would make me broke. Because what you're going to do is you're trying to split my time and attention for probably some pyramid type shit.
Snake oil type shit.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Josh.
What if the other things you're doing on the side directly serve what your purpose with the
It doesn't.
is?
It doesn't. Because what happens is that you're keeping all of them you're keeping all these ideas alive, but none of them are growing.
So to give you clarity, I'm directing a documentary. And other people in here that probably can't hear what it's about. I get it. But basically, I'm also doing photo shoots to learn how to direct better. So instead of me thinking about how to take the best picture at these shoots, I'm trying to learn leadership for this documentary and how to interface with clients. And then on the other side, I'm doing artistic things to be a better artist. So for this documentary, I have a way to access my craft with.
So you gotta be okay. So this is circumstances. Circumstances mean, and also timing. Deep down inside, you gotta know that your documentaries will probably be a C+. It won't be an A. You know why? You didn't have the money and resources to give it the time it needed. Let's call it what it is. If you're in competition and one person's there every day, that's all they're working on. They eat, breathing, and drinking, and you're doing all these other things. How are you competing? You can't. It's okay because sometimes we don't have that financial, and it might be something that gets things started that can get you to the point where that's all you really do. And now you can really run that race. But here's the problem when you finally get there. Some people won't let go of the other hustles because those other hustles is still extra money coming in. Right? I'm not saying you have multiple sources of income. That's not what I'm arguing. I'm arguing that it's when you're seeking out whatever the next fast way to make money and grab an opportunity. Like it almost could turn you, like this is how people can hustle you so easy because I can run to you be like, hey, you don't want to make some more money? You'd be like, well, how? No. If you had told me that when in the urgency fight to me, we had that offer numerous times placed on our table. Hey, Nana Mashama, you guys want to make some more money? Nah, we're doing this here. If we start doing all this other stuff here, I can't grow this big ass business I'm trying to grow. I could be a photographer and take some pictures and make some money, but it won't be a business. I'm just creating a job.
Hey, that's why whenever anybody tells you that they got 3 or 4 businesses going on at the same time,
Run.
trash. You know it is. You cannot sustain 3 or 4. They're not growing businesses. You know, like most people who built success and they have multiple highly successful businesses, more than likely because they put 100% focus on one. And then it grew. And then they scaled it. But not, I'm starting 3 businesses at the same time. That shit never works.
No, it's not a thing. You can have multiple businesses if your business is buying businesses. That's all you do is buy business, but you don't really run them.
Yeah.
Most venture capitalists don't run their businesses. They buy businesses. Let's keep going. So this is how it shows up, Josh.
The quick flip mindset.
No, how it
Wait.
shows up.
Oh, sorry. Jumps from job to job or gig to gig.
That's
Focuses on what pays today, not what compounds tomorrow.
So that's a big one there. That's hard to embrace what compounds tomorrow when you're stuck in the day-to-day addiction. Go ahead.
Burnout is common.
Oh my God, this is so common.
Always moving, rarely growing.
So you're so busy. I'm taking all these different things. You're moving, but you ain't growing shit. Your life ain't changed. You're busy though. You feel like at moments you feel like you're really working hard, but you're not growing. Those are 2 different things. Keep going.
No attention left to reflect or plan. Every day is reactionary.
So you don't realize that even the importance of just stopping and reflecting and planning so you can grow. They're rich in motion but poor in direction. Read that. Let me read that one more time. Read that sentence one more time. I just want to hear it one more time.
They're rich in motion, poor in direction.
This is how a lot of people move like this. They're rich in motion, but poor in direction. Motion without direction is like driving in a circle and thinking you traveled. Next slide.
The flex culture trap. Example, spending heavily on symbols of success, cars, fashion, jewelry, or travel to prove value and feel in control.
This is money. This is a traps of money. Go ahead.
How it shows up. Money flows out as soon as it comes in.
This is people who put money first. Money flows out as soon as it comes in. Keep going.
Time gets traded over time or multiple jobs to maintain the image.
Wait, so time gets traded for overtime or multiple jobs to maintain the image. Meaning that you working hella hours to maintain a certain lifestyle, or you're changing jobs all the time so you can maintain a certain lifestyle because you put time first. When you put time first, it becomes its own beast that then starts to direct other choices outside of just time. So time turns into a directive in your life, and at some point, money. I'm talking about putting money first. When you value money first, it starts to poison other choices outside of just the path of growth, right? So, like for example, if I say, "Hey, I'm trying to gain more money for more freedom," but when you worship money because money's first, because that's how it's been something that you never had, and this is something that it's not something that makes you. You're not being wrong, or you're not bad, you're not wrong, you're stupid. It's something you're gonna have to fight against and learn how to be different. Quite often you find yourself in money traps, which is you're doing all these things because now you deal with the addictive relationship to money is more valuable than time and attention. Where if you value time and attention, you move different with your money. But keep going.
Attention is rented.
Little mental space.
Little mental space, attention left for self-development, rest, or learning.
So you're so busy spending this money, you don't have no time for any mental space left for self-development or learning. Keep going.
Their attention is rented by appearances.
Meaning that the way you look, your time is being rented by your appearance. Meaning that every time you put on a nice outfit, your attention and time is suffering from these cars and these clothes and these ideas you're wearing. You're living a lifestyle that steals from time and attention because you got to work to get more money to keep that lifestyle going. So guess what? You have no time to invest in growth. You're just stuck on a hamster wheel now. The more shit you buy, the more you ain't getting off the hamster wheel. Next slide.
The scarcity worker.
This is all money trap. So this person says this is the people who put money, time, attention first. These are the symptoms of what happens to you who put money first. Go ahead.
Example. Someone works 2 jobs, afraid to miss a shift, terrified of losing income. Even when offered education or business opportunities, they decline. I can't afford to take time off.
I can't make it to Wednesday classes. I gotta. Go ahead.
How it shows up.
Yes, Debbie.
Lives in constant trade-off. Time equals survival.
So a lot of times they constantly trading their time all the time. They bastardizing their time to the point that life is almost like they're in prison. Go ahead.
No attention left for family, health, or creative thought.
So because because you're chasing money, you don't have no time for your family, no time for your own personal health. You have no time to sit down and work on creative thoughts because I gotta get my money. Keep going.
Future feels impossible because every hour is already sold. That's crazy.
I just want y'all to sit with that. The future feels impossible because every hour is already sold. This is what happens when your relationship to money is fucked. Go ahead. Next one.
When time,
No, go back. We ain't finished that. We got next sentence. Go ahead.
When time is always sold, there's no room left to buy freedom.
Read that one more time because that's a cold ass phrase.
When time is always sold, there's no room left to buy freedom.
Black people, don't talk about white supremacy when you selling your time for nothing.
Shit.
That part, you ain't even selling it, you giving it
Your
up.
time, when you start valuing time, attention, money, that's the game. You're selling your time so cheaply because you're a victim of poverty. And I get you're a victim of poverty, but you got to shift not because it's morally right. It's because at the end of the day, you'll never see freedom. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've been sitting in this class for hella years, right? And I could almost recite verbatim every single class because I really love this class. But this didn't hit till just now with this slide because I can tell you, oh yeah, time, attention, money. These are the orders. This is why, et cetera, et cetera. But when I tell you psychologically that these last 2 sentences hit different because in my brain, in my logical, rational brain, I'm thinking I'm prioritizing it in the way we're taught in here. And then I get into my scarcity brain and I'm like, my bills are paid, money is cool, I got some savings, I got comfortable, I got safety net and whatnot. And I really am pre-selling my time and I'm using it as a bargaining chip because it's my comfort zone. So, this just made this so real.
And the comfort zone comes from, because your comfort zone is most of your life. Where did you come from? So when you come from, this is first generation poverty. Like let's say you raise your child up to learn business all these years, or they went away to some business school. This might not be their challenge. But if you're first generation out of poverty into wealth, this is the gates you stand behind every day. You're literally you're in prison of selling your time so cheaply, so abusively. Matter of fact, without stopping and reflecting, you can't change that system. You got to stop and reflect just to plan. Because if you say, well, I'm so busy. No. You so poorly planned, you're so poorly designed, and you're poorly positioned. But you can't creatively change that if you ain't got no time to address it. So you're just stuck in the same system. And now you're burning out. You hate your fucking life. You feel like the future is dead because why? Everything's already sold.
That's crazy.
Go ahead.
I just want to say this is totally not tied to income too. Like you could be a high earner making 3 figures a year, but if you got that golden shackle and you don't have any time, you're not a wealthy person. You might be rich, but
it's a scary. Imagine working your ass off and then you die. What was life for you?
Goddamn.
What was life for you? You didn't enjoy life. You was a slave to the moments. But you didn't realize you made the decisions that created your slavery because you put money first. If you would put time first as your most valuable asset, not money, you would manage your way out of all this shit.
Yo, so for people that are first timers, like, coming from poverty into building something, like, how do you, I'm almost about to be in tears. Like,
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
This
You
class
can look
is
as
so
ugly as Josh.
important because, you can be like so intelligent and be so focused on doing all the right things and just have like little things that aren't unlocked that are stopping you from doing it. And it's like, I come to this class every Wednesday because I know that this is what I need, because everything that I've built is a product of my exposure, and I can't build anything that I don't know more of. So I have to constantly rewrite my beliefs, get exposure to things. And it's just so wild that like, it's so counterintuitive. And you can have all the right thought processes and still like shoot yourself in the foot. So it's just so crazy to me because like in my circle of friends outside of here, like, thank you, I'm probably like one of the top performers, right? And then I come to Hope because I'm like, I don't want to be at the top of any pyramid. I want to be at the bottom because I need people that I can like reach up to and, ask for help so I can like scale faster. But I just know so many people that are like trapped because they're not getting this. And it's just so crazy.
Yeah, I totally agree. What's the family racial background of Sierra Deli? I think he's Vietnamese. And he was saying that this is a constant trap for Vietnamese families. That he almost cried in front of me. He's running a deli, makes enough money to buy a nice house, car, but he's trapped because he's selling his time. So he was saying Vietnamese work 7 days a week and trade their whole life for money. And he goes, I got kids. I barely have a relation with my kids, man. I don't have I'm not living life. I'm literally here as a human being, just dying. That's it. And you can change these things, but you gotta literally learn how to. I fell in this trap when I was 24. I was working at some company and I had another job I was at a gas station at nighttime, and I was working like 13, 14 hours, 15 hours a day. And I remember I was paying my bills, and at the one point I was like, yo, what kind of life is this? Like, I get off one job to the next job, weekends I'm working, I'm working. I'm like, I'm gonna fuck around, be 40 and not know what 20s and 30s even fucking felt like. And so I just quit one job. Fuck it, I'm gonna be defaulting these bills. I'm gonna change my whole life. And when I started changing my whole life, I started saying, I gotta design my life where, and it doesn't mean you can't have short runs, because when you first start your business, you're gonna be busy. It's just what it is. But you gotta know the goal is to get your time back, not your money back. All right, let's go to the next slide. This is how it applies to entrepreneurs. Let's go for it.
The distracted entrepreneur. Example, a small business owner constantly checking sales like a cash flow, but never stepping back to work on systems or branding.
So this is a person that's looking at the numbers more than looking at how's my systems looking? How's our branding going? Keep going.
How it shows up. Always reacting to numbers, not strategy. Can't delegate because they equate money control with business control. Mm-hmm. Their attention is fragmented between worry, work, and ego validation. Money leads the dance, but time and attention pay the bills.
Money leads the dance, but time and attention pays the bills. Keep going.
Contrast.
Go next slide. Here you go.
When time and attention come first.
So this is what happens when time and attention comes first. Let's go. Let's talk about it. This is a healthy example. Let's go.
A person who invests in learning, builds routines, and prioritizes sleep, reading, and relationships before chasing dollars.
Oh. Y'all know when black people turn up in our communities, that's not how it works. Can we honestly, y'all know this, right? Have y'all seen people turn up, when they get serious about business, they start throwing this, these are like sandbags they throw over the balloon. Keep going.
How it shows up. Time is used intentionally, not reactively. Attention is protected. No random distractions.
So you might have been around me. She can't vouch for this. Come to me with a random distraction and watch how I'd be like, you don't leave me the fuck alone?
I'm out.
I'm out. Yeah. That's what I feel. I'm out. Because my time, random distractions mean that you're stealing my attention. Once you steal my attention, I'm selling my attention to you. I'm selling my attention, and and what I'm giving up is a quality of life. So I don't mind helping anybody and showing for anybody, but my attention is negotiated. And at the end of the day, I must always own my attention. I'm not going to ever I'm not going to even use my attention for you to like me. If you're talking about some shit and I just still want to be cool with you, I'd be like, look, man, let's change this conversation. I have no interest in this. I will do that on you in a second. Because why? Once I start prostituting, I've done that before. I was prostituting my attention. Just listen to somebody like, oh, that's great. That's amazing. And I realized I didn't get shit from these relationships. So when I started saying, listen, man, why are we talking about this? Where are we going with this? What's the purpose of telling me this? Because I feel like we're not connecting here. We're not connecting. I'm going to get up out of here. But what I'm not going to do is sit there and be like, yeah, oh, yeah, it's green. Yeah, that's crazy. It's green. Yeah. What about those Warriors? What? Yeah, Warriors. Yeah. Oh, that's Steph Curry. He's amazing. Yes. No, not with me. I will literally walk backwards while you're talking to me and look at you the whole time. I do it. I'm not doing that because that's a short-term game. Long-term game is, what game am I playing? And if I use my attention is valuable to me because my attention allows me to be a different version of me every year. If I give up my attention, I'm going to be the same person I was for the last 5 or 10 years. And some things my attention stop is my emotional yearning to be my old version of myself. So I may have a desire to I want to do this. My attention says, nah, you can't do that. Next one.
Money flows through
Follows. Money follows.
Oh, I'm sorry. Money follows through skills, clarity, and long-term alignment.
Okay. So money follows through, but what comes first is skills, clarity, and long-term alignment. And you realize money will follow those things. We don't put money first because we understand that through us managing our time and attention, money will show up. As opposed to trying to create a shortcut and then realize we become so we don't control money, money controls us. When money is first in the money, time, attention. Next slide. So there's no bank for measuring. I'm going to do a few of these and we're going to go home. There's no bank for measuring time and attention. But you know what? I created a virtual bank for time and attention. Let's jump into it real quick. What happens when you invest time and you get a return or you don't get a return? Let's jump into it.
Time scarcity isn't just about hours. It's about ownership. Everyone technically has 24 hours, but not everyone owns their time. When someone's time is controlled by shifts, clients, or constant crisis management, they're not really spending time. They're being spent by time.
Ooh, go there real quick. Read that shit. Start from when someone time. Read from right there.
When someone's time is controlled by shifts, clients, or constant crisis
management. So your time is being controlled by shifts. This is so cool. Clients, constant crisis management. What happens, Shakina?
They're not really spending time. They're being spent by time.
You ain't controlling time. Time is controlling you. You not here. You bitched up. Excuse the language for all the youngsters, because I heard finally we got some youngsters living, so I apologize for that. It doesn't mean what you think it means. I gotta give you the East Oakland translation. I'll send you my E40 rendition. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So even if the hours are long, they don't compound into anything. No rest, no mastery, no clarity.
Let's say it again. So even if the hours are long, they don't compound into any. So there's no compounding If time is spending you and you busting your ass, you're not getting no rest, you're not getting no mastery, and you definitely ain't got no clarity. But you're busy. Busy as hell, working hard, throwing out theories without no context. Broke as a joke.
Can you
Next
provide
slide.
some clarity? There's one more sentence on that slide, by the way.
Okay.
But what is the difference between time being spent and you being spent by time?
So spend by time has been that your reaction to everybody. I got to take care of this. I got to take care of that. I got to take care of this. I got to take care of that. None of that. You got to do none of that. You can control all that by managing that. And you can control what gets this, what gets that. You can build systems, get places. You build boundaries. You build methodologies. You build better systems that's not even required from you. But if you're always putting out problems and you're always busy, you're always working on clients, you're being controlled. You're not controlling your situation. And it's so easy to think you're controlling the situation, but because you're like, oh, I'm busy, which makes you, so you've been poor your whole life. So busy says I get more money. Because you get more money because you really put money first, not time, attention, and money. You put money, time, attention. So because you're getting money, you ignore that when a client calls you, I got to respond. Because now I said serve them. I got to be busy. I got to. You're being spent. As opposed to when you sit in time, you go, okay, all these people calling me. How do we manage this? Because I can't use my whole day for this. This doesn't make any sense. Imagine you're answering everybody's responses. Like, go back to the E-Myth. If you're so busy answering everybody's responses, who's running your company? That means you're being spent. You're not spending your time. Your time is being spent. So at some point, controlling all those incidents, controlling how many hours you work, controlling controlling how your clients engage you, respond, and how you design that. Controlling crisis management, like how you design those solutions, all control your time. But if you don't come up with strategies around all three of those alone, those three alone could kill you as a business. So you're so busy solving everybody else's problems, you're no value. At the end of the day, you get to the point where you get no rest, you got no mastery, you got no clarity. But here's the cool part. You got all this information in your head, you can't even use it because you got no time, you got no rest, you got no mastery. You read every book I ever read, but you got no time, you got no rest, no mastery, and no clarity. So without balancing, it's like me saying, hey, you know what, I'm gonna work out every day. From the time I wake up to the time I get up, I'm gonna wake up work every day. No rest period. I'm not gonna take any of that food and those drinks. I'm gonna just keep working out. You would say, so where do we bury you at?
Yeah, because you're trying to die.
That's exactly. Well, that's how many of you guys are running your businesses. You're dying because you're not getting anything from it. You're busy as hell, and when you die, you're laying in that bed, you realize life has given you got nothing out of life. Read the last one.
You can be busy all day and still not move forward.
This is
That's
what I'm talking about.
a symptom of low time ownership.
So if you're busy all day and you're not moving forward, that's low time ownership. So I kept saying you guys time, attention, money. Oh, I get it, but everybody was not doing time, attention, money. Let's keep because I want to get a couple more.
Okay.
And you can ask. We just close. Try to remember that question. Next slide.
Low returns on time investment.
Mm-hmm.
If we borrow the language of finance, time can either compound or decay.
Mm-hmm.
High return time investments. Learning new skills, building systems that work without you, developing relationships that open new opportunities, reflecting and planning.
Ooh, so by the way, let me slow down. Learning new skills, that requires a lot of time. Building systems that work without you, that requires a lot of time. Intention. Me and Michelle are working on that a lot. Developing relationships that open up new opportunities. That means you gotta go sit with people and go talk with people, go meet with people. You can't stay in your building working all damn day. Reflecting and planning. That means you gotta carve out time to just go do that. I promise you, being busy is not gonna fix none of those shits. Go next one. Low return time investments.
Repeating the same low-paying tasks.
Mm-hmm.
Engaging in endless social media consumption.
Mm-hmm.
Being busy instead of effective.
So you're busy, but are you really effective? Like when you measure your number, if you were to step back when go back to a period where you thought you were really busy, ask yourself, were you really effective? Yeah, you got through it, but were you really effective? There was this thing where Henry Ford said when he would run across a crisis, or no, it was Firestone. He said Henry Firestone said when he would have a crisis, he would stop and break away for a day or two, or even a week, and he would go through this time process. He wouldn't go straight into put out the fire, run over there, and go through the same historical routines, which means bad strategy because contextually there could be things that are very, very different. You're not doing any assessment. You're not doing any insights. You're not evaluating your options. You're not evaluating comparisons. You're implementing blind theories because you're panicking. And the person who moves more effective long term, this person can stop in the middle of a crisis and go, no, I'm going to stop and plan for 4 days. But everything's burning. That's okay. But I got to figure this out. If I quickly respond, I'm only going to just be doing, that's just copy and paste. I need to get out of this because something I've done got me here, and I got to figure out how to navigate myself out of here and also seal those systems so I don't go back to whatever the fuck happened before. Keep going.
Working in chaos with no strategic focus.
This is very, okay, keep going.
When money comes first, people often trade their most valuable compounding asset, time, for the least scalable one, cash. The return on time becomes linear or even negative. If your time doesn't create more time or more options, it's being undervalued.
So if time doesn't create more time, it's being undervalued. If time doesn't create more time, the goal of time, if you believe in time, attention, money, is time should be creating a return, not time is flat line. I'm using time to get money, so that's time, attention, money. No, use your time to figure out how can I create more time for myself in the future? I've been saying this phrase, time, attention, money. I'm like, okay, y'all really want to get into this? Let's dance. Next slide.
The hidden cost of unmeasured time.
This is hidden the cost of not measuring your time. Go ahead.
Because time doesn't have a price tag, people underestimate it. For example, a person might drive an extra hour to save $10 on gas.
That was old me. Y'all know, you remember me? That's me. That's old me. Go ahead.
I'm going to go to San Leandro because gas is cheaper.
Yeah, well, I'm not doing that shit no more. Yeah.
Losing more value in time than they gained in cash.
So by the time you done drove to all those different gas stations, the gas done went up 50 cents a gallon. Go ahead, keep going.
Or spend hours scrolling or reacting instead of thinking or creating. Mm-hmm. They don't see the lost return because time loss is invisible. Mm-hmm. When you can't measure the cost of lost time, you normalize living in a deficit.
You get used to the deficit. Deficit is normal to you. You don't even feel like it's bad anymore. It's just your comfort zone. You even told your whole family how to get used to your deficit. Look, y'all, we only, you know me. I'm usually busy, but I will see you on Thursday. I really don't have a lot of time. You literally eat, sleep, party, hang out. You literally put boundaries around your deficit. Don't fuck with my time, y'all. Because I'm already prostituting it. I don't need you coming to ask for something. I'm giving it all up to daddy already. Next slide.
I feel attacked.
I know. I'm not making sense. Go ahead.
In scarcity, time becomes the most leaked resource.
In scarcity, time becomes the most leaked resource. Go for it.
In poor or unstable environments, people delay rest. I'll sleep when I'm dead.
Ooh.
I used to say that.
Delay learning. I don't have time to study.
Ooh, I hear that all the time. Go ahead.
Delay reflection. I'm too busy surviving.
Mm-hmm.
Over time, that leads to chronically low ROI on
return on
effort.
investments.
Lots of movement, little progress. It's the economic version of running on a treadmill. Motion without momentum.
Meaning that, once again, if you're not moving, if you're not treating your time like a investment strategy and you wonder why your time is trash because you treat it too loosely, you almost have an elementary relationship with time where if you treated your time the way you treated money, let's say you seriously into investing and savings and making smart moves with your money, but do you do that with your time and attention? And if you're not, surprise. And here's the thing with time management. Time can hit you long term. I mean, at short term, everything can be great. Long term, when the ship finally lands, because you've been depreciating, you've been depriving and starving these things of time for so long. When they fall and collapse, it's going to be a shock to you. But everybody else who understands time saw it coming because you've been underinvesting all this time. It's like imagine you have a piece of equipment at your gym, and you should be replacing it every 5 years, but instead you just let them keep training, and then you start wiring it up and making it work, and then one day somebody grabs something and it falls on them. But we do that with our time all the time. Long term, we should be putting time in these places, but we keep underserving these areas. And then when a family member, friend, or something happens in your life where it literally stabs you in the chest, you don't realize, because you used to living in deficit, what role you played in the failure because you didn't see time as an asset. Your career falls. Let's say you have a job and things are going good, and then it ends. And you go to apply for another job, you realize, I don't really have these skills. But for example, let's say you're working at Google and they bring you in and somehow you go from janitor to you're processing paperwork. And you're making good money. And then they fire you and you realize nobody wants that skill. What paperwork they had you processing. Now you're mad at Google. No. When you was at Google, how did you use your time? Did you treat your time cheaply? Or did you say, with this free time or this extra time I have here, I'm gonna learn these other skills that I'm looking at the market, and based upon these other skills, if I get these skills, that means I have optionality. And through this optionality, I don't care about one person firing me. Or are you in a situation where you're like, damn it? Or let's say you have one big client and you don't see the importance of time. And instead of you working on other clients to diversify so you can handle these dips in the market, you overserved this one client and you just went hard in the paint, but didn't service diversity and optionality. And when that client goes away, you got no business because you prostituted time because you got used to living in time deficits. It shows up in so many different ways in your life. Look at your health. You working your ass off, you're young, your skin looks good, and it doesn't. It's just gonna happen. It ain't no fucking choices. You don't get to be like, okay, I'm ready now. It's just done. That's out. Stop.
Wow.
Like literally, certain parts of your body be like, I'm out. I'm done. I'm out. I don't want to do this shit no more. And you're like, well, Donna, what can I do to get you? Damn near going to the doctor and like, yo, gonna put you on these pills. We're gonna give you some shots. We're gonna have to monitor you. You're like, well, Donna, how do I change my life? So you prostituted at the time all this time, and now you're on your deathbed and you want to ask a question: how can you use time effectively? I don't want to tell you, bro. You're in deficit. Not saying you can't. Not saying it's not possible. But even your journey back is going to be 10 times harder because you're not ready for the pain, the suffering, and the long journey because you don't have that relationship with time. So you're pretty much dead. I'm just keeping this shit real. I'm watching people die like this all the time. It's not like I'm not even making this shit up. Like I see this happen all the time where people have a poor relationship with time, want to change their life, but because they don't have a relationship with time, they have an idea where they want to go. Going back to course lesson, you know what you need to do, but you don't have a relationship with time to do it. And you damn sure ain't fucking with attention. Next slide. I'm doing this last slide. Okay, let's just do 2 slides real fast and then go home. Real fast. Let's go.
Attention as currency. If time is the real estate, then attention is the rent you pay to occupy it.
Woo! If time is a real estate, attention is the rent you pay to occupy it. Game, understand. Game, go.
If time, sorry, you can have time available, but if your attention is scattered or hijacked, your time produces no yield.
So once again, if you got time, let's say you finally got your time together, but you ain't got your attention together, then your time that you got together without proper attention produces nothing. You just wrong, wasting. You just bored. Shit, I don't know to tell you, bored, broken bored. That's 2 B's. Go ahead. That's a real BB.
Please stop. In that sense, every scroll, argument, or distraction is a withdrawal.
So every time you get distracted, every time you argue with somebody, every time you waste your time with dumbass conversations, every time you gossiping, it's a withdrawal on your attention. I promise you, the more you get into this business shit, the more you realize, I can't stand to be in that shit. It gets on my nerves. Go ahead.
Every moment of focus, gratitude, or creativity thought is a deposit.
So every moment of focus, gratitude, creative thought is a deposit. Keep going. You
are what you repeatedly pay attention to. So the question becomes, where are you investing your attention and what's the return?
Go next slide. Read the last slide, then we're going to stop here because it has a few more slides. We're going to stop here. Okay.
High versus low ROI attention investments. High ROI attention, learning deeply, building systems, practicing presence, strategic reflection, listening to understand.
So there's two there that I can say most people are horrible at, really bad at. Because strategic reflections, everybody think they do that. Practicing presence and listening to understand. Do you realize that requires attention, a lot of attention? Those with low attention, I promise I know people right now who have low attention and they suck at listening to understand. They suck at proper presence, meaning not knowing how to like tune your responses to what's going on in the room and read the room properly. That requires attention. If you have low attention, even though you have time, you suck. So that means when you're in a room with strategical people who are handling business, you the person who want to get the fuck out the room. This happens all the time. When I'm in a room with Bashama, I can tell whose attention span has been prostituted so much they shouldn't be in the room with me. Because they can't read the client, they can't even hear the conversation, they can't see the writing, they can't look at the clothes and how the person walked in. They can't see none of that because their attention's like, I got it. That means that you miss you leave so much money on the table, you have no idea how much you leave on the table because you can't be present. Somebody's talk to you at a party. You know, you ever talk to somebody at a party and you feeling really intelligent and you want to share what you're working on, and they're like, yeah. That's good. That's how a lot of us move every day. We don't know we're doing it because between the phones, that's why I leave. If you ever anybody around me know my cell phone's always left in other rooms. I'm leaving my cell phone all the time. I don't give a shit if you call me. I called you earlier. Yeah, okay. I grew up in the day of home phones. Leave a message. Shit. So, but those of you who are attention whores, I got text. I know this person right now who texts all the time, and they feel victimized by every relationship they engage because they feel abused, but they miss so many cues that the relationships go sour, not because the people don't like them, because they show up dead to the moment because they're attention whores. This is cold. I can't begin to tell you. Like some of y'all think, oh, life and I don't get opportunities like you do. No, it's because you're just not present. You don't know how to listen. You don't know how to show up. Sometimes I catch myself doing that. I'm like, ooh, slow down, Nana. Slow down and repeat what this person said to you to make sure that you can get back in alignment of listening. Because if you just keep going dance down, then what you're doing is that we're really talking about ourselves and we're just both projecting. That means we're not building a relationship. I'm wasting both of our time. Go ahead. Now go into low return on attention.
Endless reacting and scrolling. Gossip, comparison, and noise.
So comparisons. You know, they got this. You know, white people got this. You know, my friend, you know, this employee at the office, he got this. You know, my girlfriend got this. You know, my sister got that. That's low attention. That's stealing so much attention is ridiculous. You're prostituting attention. You got to get to the point that you minimize all that kind of gossiping, comparison, and noise. Noise is things that don't turn into nothing. If I'm arguing you like, no, you put my shoes over there, now it's over here. Why? Look, I thought you put it over here. Why is it over there? See, this is why it's so stupid. You know what I just did? I prostituted all my attention. So now I wonder why my life is out of control. I don't have time to work on my shit. Because I keep having dumbass conversations that mean nothing to me. Nothing. Like literally nothing. If you're on social media, most of the shit don't mean nothing. The hot thing I think was on social media was, you know, Josiah had something to say about Nana. He had a response to what Nana had to say to him. And people went, oh, well, let me see what he said. Oh, no, he did say that. I wonder what he going to say next. That's my strategy time. I don't give a fuck about that. Okay, if I'm on vacation, I ain't doing shit, or I'm somewhere where all the projects are cool, I already did my reflections, already locked in, we're locking in, get a strategy, I got a little small window between there, fine, I might scroll. But if I find myself scrolling and I've got a busy day, I'm sitting there going, what's going on with you, bro? Why you need to stay on the scrolling? Now, don't get me wrong, there was a way that I used to scroll at one point to change my, like I would scroll because it was such a dead thing to me that I would tell my mind, quiet down and switch over here. So I would scroll for like, so you walk in the room for like 10 minutes, I may scroll. But then you come in 10 minutes later, you're like, he locked in. I'm just locked in, right? But if I was on that scrolling for an hour, I'm fucked over. My Instagram has more messages unchecked. If I open my Instagram right now and said, let's look at all the messages been sent to me. Look how many I've opened. I probably haven't opened my Instagram messages in 4 or 5 months. You have an Instagram? Yeah, I don't look at it. Somehow I got it. I don't even know how I got it. I really don't remember how I got it. I think I may have got it so I could see something. And then I was like, this is too much. I'm not gonna keep reading. Next thing. Oh, God damn it! I need my attention back. Go ahead.
Continue reading.
Emotional reactivity.
Emotional reactivity and distraction.
Oh no! Go one more. Obsessed over others' validation. That's attention whore. So are you a people pleaser? You are leaking attention. Next one.
Emotional reactivity and distraction loops.
So that means that you always get emotional to a lot of shit. That's why emotional intelligence is necessary for entrepreneurs, because it's also how we lock in our attention so we can invest our attention so we get a return so we can grow faster. Mm-hmm. Let me say this again. We have to invest our attention to get more attention so we can grow faster. But if it's always being leaked behind endless reacting and scrolling, gossip and comparison and noise, obsessing over others' validation, meaning I'm not good enough, so I need to be validated by other people. White people need to see me. Black lives matter. Emotional reactivity and distraction loops, meaning I'm just reacting to all this shit emotionally. Oh, this shit irritates me. Oh, get some. Gonna bring these people some help. Listening to and responding.
Listen to respond or argue.
Listen to respond or argue. Meaning you're listening just to respond. This is one of the ones that I have to constantly, because I slide into that one every once in a while. I can listen to respond, or the worst one I used to do was listen to argue. That's when I was younger, and both of those are bad. Mm-hmm. You gotta be able to listen. This, and you know where I learned that from? Danielle. Danielle's the best listener I've ever seen. Go ahead.
I was talking about emotional reactivity. What makes this one's dangerous too is that if you allow somebody to steal your attention through emotional reactivity, some of us, it takes us 12 hours to come back. We got to go to sleep and then wake up and get it out of our system. So if you're one of those ones, you're losing hours.
Tell the truth, Court. That's real. What Court just said, did y'all hear what he said? Listen, when you're getting into these emotional spaces with people because you're letting your emotions restill it, some of that doesn't just go away in 5 minutes. You're back to focus. It has attention. It continues to steal your attention long after. And these are things that when you guys start seeing your importance of your attentions, this is why when you're around me and I say be a little bit more serious, the way I move is so I can protect my thinking. Once my thinking is compromised by too much shit, and it doesn't mean that you can have a slip here and there. It can't mean that you can't go on vacation. It doesn't mean that but throughout the year, 9 times out of 10, you should be moving a life that says, I got to protect my attention. And your attention could be like, I'm just going to look at some strange shit and try to read some new shit or understand some new shit. Like, I may watch YouTube videos on how certain things are done or how things are interacting. I'm like, oh, that makes me curious about this, curious about that, curious about this. Because you have to have multiple dimensions of learning, right? Not just learning one subject. But if you find me listening to like what this person said about this person and what somebody said about Trump, I really can give 5 cents to shits to less. I refuse to click on gossiping YouTube videos because they're attention whores. Close out the sentence.
Attention has compounding power. Where focus goes, energy grows.
So real quick, say it again. That's the hardest one. Where focus what?
Where focus goes, energy grows.
Stop right there. That's just process that shit. Where if your focus goes, your energy grows. I mean that we want a different world, but you ain't give it no energy. You give it no focus. There's no energy in that space. So the energy you're getting back from life is tied to where you putting your energy at. So where your focus, if you're not managing your attention, where focus goes, energy grows. Keep going.
The people who grow fastest aren't necessarily smarter.
Not at all.
They've simply trained their attention to stay invested longer in valuable areas.
That's it. That's the recipe right there. There's a lot more to this. We'll come back and we'll start with, what's the next slide? Just look at the next slide. What's the next slide? So we'll start going through, we'll stay with attention when we get back, but you guys can start to see how your time and attention and money, how they're really resources, not this abstract idea. So you say, I care about my time first, and then you prostitute it after you get through with the conversation. Or, I'm really into my attention, and you're not managing your attention. Time, attention, money. Once you look at it as investing and a return on my investment so I can get more time and attention to have more control over my life, to control the outcome. If you see it that way alone, you realize that many of us have been bastardizing. It's so simple with the ideas. Now, when I first taught time, attention, money, which, by the way, I'm going to add energy when we come back and why energy is important. But when I first taught time, attention, money, it was implying that it was trying to shift us from the hustler and the money and the impact that money was having upon us. But then I started realizing people were using it, but just kind of like, you're still on the surface of it. And I want us to show that a lot of shit we teach you in class, we're laying the foundation to teach you more. But if I went straight to the advanced shit first, the young lady that just walked in there, I thought to myself, oh, poor sister. I know she must be suffering because this shit cannot possibly make sense to want to just how they brought in. Because she hasn't been in class long enough to understand context. So she's just here like these ideas just crossing and hitting intersections. She ain't never seen these intersections a day of her life. That's not her fault. But if I start you at this space of teaching the class, you're not writing in this class for long. It's gonna be something like I'm just talking to the court or some shit, or talking to Shakina. Rachel will be looking at me like, "What the fuck are you saying?" Right? You lay a foundation, and then when we come back and we see that you own a certain portion of it, you say, "Okay, now you don't have." It's like in martial arts, right? You think, "Oh, I got these basics," and he goes, "Okay, now it's time to go to the next belt." You realize you had the basics as long as you did that move, but when you have to use that basics in a combination with that move, you don't have none of that. And that's kind of how we've been teaching this class. So next time you decide to say you teach the same thing over and over and over, realize it's not this class, it's you. I'm gonna just say it to your face. I don't give a shit. I'm at a point now. I'm tired of subsidizing softness.
I want you to know that's exactly how I say it. You teaching the same thing?
So that being said, I gotta leave early because there's a family member that's getting an operation tomorrow, so I gotta be a part of it. But I just want to say to you guys. Part two will be coming. We're gonna come up with part two, and we'll bring the part two of the family back at the end of the month. But right now, we're gonna just kind of get through these next couple of lessons. But as you guys see, I'm going to help you guys look at time, attention, money different. But there's some simple message I'm gonna start bringing back up and show you how much you don't have ownership. And as you continue to learn, you will gain ownership. But this whole idea of I got this. That's that theory without context. I'm trying to show you that a lot of shit you think you know. Check do you own the context? If you don't own the context of all these ideas and principles and all the shit you've been learning, you don't own anything. All you're doing is fluffing your status, your ego, making yourself feel good, but you can't change. You can't fight yourself out of a bag. So you got to learn how, in order to have these theories without learning the context that attach to these theories that you're taught in this class, you still don't have anything. With that being said, have a good night. Peace.